Good afternoon. We'd like to call to order the Monday, October 6, 2025 Commissioners meeting. Deputy Sheriff, if you could, start the meeting for us.
All rise.
Thank you. If we could have Pastor Anthony Darrell Henderson of Beulah Baptist Church come for the invocation.
Let us pray. O God, our constant help in ages past, help in eternal calm, we invoke thy presence in this place today as we come to celebrate your goodness in our lives. Father, our God, we, your children and your servants, ask that you would meet us here. Help us to see the good in each other. Help us to see your face in this place. Help us to see the need of mutuality. Turn away from petty jealousies. Help us to see the noble and the good. Not look with disdain upon the weak and the errant. Grant us thy spirit, thy love and thy grace, that we may extend a helping hand to lift up and to strengthen those who are downtrodden. God, we pray also that you would invoke your blessings today on this hall of government. We ask that you would continue to give us women and men of good repute, men and women of great integrity, men and women who would dispense justice with equity, fairly and impartially. Bless those who have accepted this responsibility to these high offices. Grant them wisdom in the exercise of their duty. Grant unto them thy protective care. Let in these difficult times give them keen minds and knowledge and understanding. Let it stand in the foreground so that what all they do and even all they say may be pleasing in your sight. And let us be good citizens, that we should obey, heed the civil magistrates who rule over us. We ask these and other blessings in the name of him who woke us up this morning and has given us life even now. Our God, our Father, we call you by many names. We praise you for who you are. Amen.
Commissioner Whaley, could you lead us in the pledge?
United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all.
You may be seated. Madam Clerk, if we could do roll call, please.
Commissioner Whaley.
Present.
Clay Bibbs. Caswell. Sugarman. Mills.
Present.
Ford. Wright.
Present.
Thornton.
Present.
Morrison.
Present.
Brooks. Lowry.
Present.
Bradford. Chairwoman Avent.
Present.
We have 10 present.
We have a quorum. Can we now get an approval of the minutes for the September 22nd, 2025 commission meeting? If we could do that without, can I get a motion? Okay, can we do that without objection? Seeing none, so approved. It is possible to join the meeting two ways: via the designated email account, oc.email@shelbycountytn.gov or via phone at 901-222-1234. Parliamentarian, if you could read the roll.
Members of the public who desire to address the county commission shall request permission by completing an appearance card, which will be given to the chair by a deputy. Members of the public shall be permitted to address the county commission unless ruled out of order by the chair or denied the opportunity to speak by a majority vote of the commissioners present and voting. Please note that as it pertains to public comment, our rules of order set a limit of no longer than 3 minutes when recognized by the chair. The chair may set a limit for discussion by the public of less than 3 minutes for each individual if circumstances require. Finally, to the members of the public, if you would like to express your pleasure or displeasure on a matter before the county commission, please do so by raising your thumb up or pointing it down, as opposed to applause or other expressions of approval or disapproval. Disruptive members of the public are subject to removal from the commission chambers by the deputy sheriff. Thank you for your attention and in advance for your cooperation today.
All right, just a few announcements. We do have staff commissioner birthdays for the month of October. Happy birthday to Cecilia Nichols, whose birthday is on October 9th, and also to Victor Anderson, whose birthday is on October 19th. So please, if you see them, make sure to send your well wishes for their birthday. I'd like to take a moment and also continue to send our sincerest condolences to Commissioner Lowry and his family during this time. I was able to attend the services on Saturday, which was a beautiful homegoing of his life and legacy to this community with Myron Lowry, and we really just want to know that you are in our hearts, in our thoughts, in our prayers. Now we'd like to move on to the resolutions, memorials, and commendations, and I'd like to ask parliamentarian to please read item number 2.
Item 2 is a resolution honoring David Jordan, sponsored by Commissioner Charlie Caswell Jr.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate this opportunity to honor this great leader in our city and our community. I was going to do this a couple of months ago. We will honor David for 30 years of services with Agape in the city of Memphis. And David Jordan, many of us know him, know his work well. He does great work all over our county and city. And I just say, you know, once I got past being jealous of this guy, I can start to begin to work with him in his organization many years ago, 2008, 2009, when we was having some of the highest infant mortality rate in our community, Fraser being #1 zip code in third world countries around infant mortality. Our organization at that time had the opportunity to partner with Agape, who helped work with many of those teen parents in the Fraser community, where we seen not only almost a 7% reduction in infant mortality in that community, we also seen a large percentage of teen pregnancy drop because of the success coaches and those who work with Agape. So I can just say a lot about you, David, because I got to work with you for many years in this community. But being now on your 30-year anniversary of your service to this community, I wanted to bring you before this body and make sure that we recognize you properly for Shelby County and all that you do. I'm not going to read all of this, but I just read whereas David Jordan is one. I might not need to wear these glasses. Lord have mercy. Which is one that individual having dedicated more than 35 years of life to social services with an unwavering commitment to uplifting children, families, and communities across Memphis, Tennessee, and beyond through his perseverance, leadership, and service that he has significantly enriched our community and strengthened the fabric of our society. Whereas David Jordan has served as president and chief executive officer of Agape Family Service since 1995. Under the visionary guardsmanship, the organization has flourished and commitment to seek God's heart for the city of Memphis, Tennessee, and making it profound and countless. Again, I share so much more, David. I just read now, therefore be it resolved by the Board of the County Commission, the Shelby County, Tennessee, that we do hereby honor David Jordan and do commend him for the enduring legacy he continues to build for generations to come. Be it further resolved that this resolution shall be spread upon, shared in the minutes of this body, and that a copy be presented to David Jordan. Thank you, sir, for your service to Shelby County.
Well, Commissioner, thank you. That is very gracious. We have been together for lots of years, and we've worked, and we're going to continue to work. And I've worked with many of you, Chairwoman, and many of you. Thank you. I appreciate our continued work and our partnership. The acknowledgement is gracious, and we know we have a lot to do still. And so we are committed to continuing in that, including in the work of hope. And so if you have not received information about the Memphis and Shelby County Hope Summit, which is November 13th, I would love to personally invite you to be a part of that. Both mayors and many others, including Commissioner, will be a part of it as we continue to move forward where hope wins for our city and our county. So thank you. God bless you.
And David, before you take your seat, there are a few commissioners who are in queue who'd like to say a few words. Commissioner Wright?
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. And Mr. Jordan, just wanted to say again, congratulations to you. Of course, Agape's work is very well known in our community, and it's work that I followed for some time. Haven't known you as much until maybe in recent years, and I know we got a chance to talk maybe a couple of years ago now. But the word that came to my mind when I saw that you were going to be recognized today, I was thinking of a quote. You may have heard this, that it goes something like this: half of life is showing up. And of course, I always sort of joke that must mean that the other half of life is not showing up, right? But that aside, what I think of when I think of you is someone who shows up. And every time I'm aware of a community event, particularly in District 6, District 7, District 8, a lot of these areas of need, you show up. And that means a lot, but it's not just showing up. I know you're there to do the work and to make Memphis a better place. And that starts with us improving ourselves. And I know what I know of you and your family are people that care very much, care very deeply, want to improve yourselves and the world around you. And I don't know that there's anything more we can ask. So just congratulations again, and keep up the good work.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Commissioner Thornton?
Thank you, Chair. And I just want to echo what my colleague said. His point about you showing up is really what just resonated with me. Since I've been a commissioner and I've known your family for some time now, it's just a very Memphis rooted spirit that you have, and I think that you're just an asset for both Memphis and Shelby County, and I think that it's very befitting to see you be able to celebrate this 30-year mark and hope for 30 more years. And I would be remiss not to shout out Dr. Fangian, that I'm a huge fan of, so I think that Agape just leveled up. Seeing that headline just made my heart happy, knowing that you're intentional to recruit people that are known in the community and also share your heart for the community. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Commissioner Lowry?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Again, just congratulations. Thanks for all you've done. I was able to attend your 30th celebration there,
Yes,
which was
thank
more impactful was about the impact that you had on people. And hearing your family come tell those stories and what you've meant to them. I know what you've done for others resonates, but the fact that your family looks at you and has that sense of pride and joy and respect for what you've done for your life's works means a lot. So thank you for continuing to do that.
Thank you, Commissioner.
And yes, David, I'd like to echo, 30 years of service is a remarkable commitment to this community and to the thousands and thousands of families that you've been able to serve through your work and through your leadership, and what Agape has been able to do for this community. So again, thank you for your service, and
thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
Parliamentarian, if you could read item number 3.
Item 3 is a special resolution honoring environmental justice advocate Marquita Bradshaw, sponsored by Commissioner Erica Sugarman.
Commissioner Sugarman?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And so this is a special resolution honoring environmental justice advocate Marquita Bradshaw. Whereas Marquita Bradshaw shall be honored and recognized by the Shelby County Board of Commissioners for her service as she continues to fight for environmental justice in Memphis and state of Tennessee. And whereas Bradshaw grew up in South Memphis near a military landfill. As a working class single mother, she graduated from the University of Memphis with a Bachelor of Arts in Communication. Growing up near a landfill led to Bradshaw's active involvement in environmental advocacy. She co-founded Youth Termination with her sisters, an organization centered on the Memphis Defense Depot, a 632-acre landfill that was previously used by the U.S. military for 55 years. Bradshaw continues to spend her career strongly advocating for a safe and clean environment. She says, whether you live on a farm or in the urban core, we're all still interconnected. What happens to you matters to me, and what happens to me matters to you. Whereas volunteerism is a core part of Bradshaw's identity, as she has spent most of her life passionately serving her community. Among the countless organizations she has been a part of includes the Sierra Club's Executive Committee, Stand for Children, and the Mid-South Peace and Justice Center. She was appointed by Tennessee Governor Bill Lee to serve on the TVA Regional Energy Resource Council, whereas Bradshaw ran to become one of Tennessee's senators in the United States Senate during the 2020 election cycle. She is the state of Tennessee's first African-American woman to win a major political party's nomination. After the election, she founded Sowing Justice, an environmental nonprofit and nonpartisan organization. Sowing Justice's core focus is to increase civic engagement in fence-line, polluted communities with citizen science and environmental justice principles. Bradshaw serves as the organization's executive director, and whereas Bradshaw is the recipient of numerous awards, of which include the Human Rights Award from the Mid-South Peace and Justice Center, the Harry Tubman Living Legends Award, and the History in Green Award. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Shelby County Board of Commissioners do hereby honor Marquita Bradshaw. Thank you for all your work. Say a few words.
It's been over 30 years. I stand on my mother's shoulders, Doris D. Berry Bradshaw. I was comfortable being in the background, but I want to say and quote somebody today. Fannie Lou Hamer, is her birthday. And she says, you don't run away from problems, you just face them. And a lot of times people think automatically that the air, the water, and the soil is safe. And so all of us have to be stewards to make sure that no matter where you live, everybody can have access because it's their right to clean air, water, and soil. And here in Memphis, we have people who have not had a clean drink of water in all of their life when it's full of lead. We have work to do. And the only way we can do that work if we face our problems head on. So I stand on the shoulder of Fannie Lou Hamer, Doris D. Berry Bradshaw, and thank you for this honor.
Ms. Bradshaw, before you take your seat, there's a few commissioners in the queue. Commissioner Thornton?
Thank you, Chair. Ms. Bradshaw, when I look at you, I look at someone that's like the modern day, just advocate activist that would go on the wall at an elementary school, and people are like, I know her. And I just think that that's very cool for us to be able to have modern day present people living amidst our children, amidst our community members that we can look to and see like inspiration and just see work. Like every time I've seen you, you've been in action and you just have such a heart for community. It's not, it's one thing to do the research about the issues. It's another thing to live it. And every time I've been in your presence, I've learned so much. And I just appreciate how you've given so much just in your life and your family's lives to be able to serve so many others. So you really have a servant's heart, and I just wish nothing but the best for you and your family.
Commissioner Ford?
Thank you. I'll be quick. Congratulations. And I just want to give you a special invite in the spirit of Ms. Hamer and everything that was stated in the resolution. And I tell people resolutions, you can only put so much on one page. So every month, this body is going to have a discussion regarding air quality. I don't know if you were aware of the $411,000 we put in for having air quality mechanisms that would focus on that radius going from 38109 and 116 going out, because of many of the things that we don't have to necessarily discuss because we already know what's there. So I'm inviting you and anybody else that would like to come to be part of that discussion so that we can continue to do the work that we can do up here, because I know sometimes we have federal and state mandates that limit us accordingly, but I know that we can creatively figure out what we can do from a local standpoint, and people elect us to do as such, or they find individuals like you who may not necessarily be in an elected capacity, but as I've said to people many times, I don't have to have a title to go do work, and you're definitely one of those people. You don't have to have an elected title, but you're doing that work. So continue doing that work, and thank you, and look forward to seeing you hopefully at the next commission meeting. Well, I think it's going to be in committee. I'll make sure you get it. It's going to be in committee. October what? October 22nd. In committee. Okay. Thank you.
Parliamentarian, please read item number 4.
Item 4 is a resolution honoring Pastor Anthony Darrell Henderson, sponsored by Commissioner Brittany Thornton.
Thank you, Chairwoman and colleagues. First, I would love to just present to you, Pastor Henderson, this plaque of appreciation on behalf of the Board of Commissioners for serving as our chaplain today. We appreciate you. And to the listening audience, I would love to introduce to some and present to others Pastor Anthony Henderson. He comes out of Orange Mound. So if there's anybody in the audience from Orange Mound, shout out to the neighborhood. Reverend Anthony Henderson, a native of Memphis, Tennessee, and proud graduate of Melrose High School and the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, received his Bachelor's of Arts degree in 1985. Answering his call to ministry, he returned home to earn a Master of Divinity degree, graduating cum laude in 1995 from Memphis Theological Seminary, where he was also honored for the Austin Award of Outstanding American Students. Reverend Henderson's ministerial journey has included service as an associate minister at Mount Moriah Baptist Church under Dr. Harvey Jackson, and assistant pastor at Gospel Temple Baptist under Dr. Nesby Alston. He also served the public as a case manager for the Tennessee Department of Human Services, where he provided life coaching for victims of addiction and abuse, supported families in need, and facilitated stronger family bonds through the Families First program. His commitment to building bridges of peace, hope, and justice extend beyond the pulpit into community and faith-based organizations. He served as the president of the Tennessee Progressive Baptist Council, trustee of the Nat-Bearing Orange Mound Daycare and Nursery Learning Center, member of the executive committee of the Tennessee Baptist Missionary and Education Convention, volunteer at Hanley Elementary School, and past chair of the Stark Scholarship Dinner Steering Committee. Befittingly, it is therefore now that we resolve by the Board of County Commissioners of Shelby County, Tennessee, that we do hereby honor Pastor Anthony Darrell Henderson for his tireless service as a model of faith, leadership, and dedication to the betterment of all people. Thank you, Pastor Henderson, for all that you do.
Good evening. I accept this recognition, first of all, on behalf of my wife and my family, who continues to keep me grounded in spite of all of the things I try to do, and the recognition that I get from people stopping me in the streets and interrupting dinners while we're in the restaurants. And I also accept this gratitude on behalf of the Beulah Baptist Church, who has allowed me to serve them as pastor for 25 years. It is ironic that for most of my teenage years, after having matriculated in Orange Mound, and I left Memphis to go to Knoxville with an intent never to come back to Memphis. But somehow or another, the Lord has guided me back into the same neighborhood that I grew up to pastor. And I have spent my ministerial life trying to help to revitalize and to re-inspire the community that nurtured me, the community that gave me a lift and a boost, the community that I tried to leave, but the Lord brought me back. And so I thank you for this recognition, Commissioner Thornton and commissioners. I thank you for the recognition, because it says to me that the work that I have been doing and the work that we are doing together is not in vain. It's not finished. There's still people who need to be helped. There still need homes that need to be blessed. There need children that need to be educated, parents that need to be supported, schools that need to be helped to help those who need education. And so while I am being recognized today, it also lets me know that there's a lot of work to be done. And I pray that this commission and this city and we all together will see that that work is done and we can get it done despite the impediments that have been put in our place, in spite of all of the obstacles that may be stand in our way. We can get it done. And I have committed myself, and I hope that this commission will also commit itself to doing what is listed in, and I don't mean to preach to you, but Matthew 25. Jesus says, when I was thirsty, you gave me drink. When I was hungry, you gave me food. When I was naked, you gave me clothes. And even when I was in prison, you came to visit me. And if we do it together, we can lift this community to heights that have never been seen before. And again, thank you for this recognition.
All right, Madam Parliamentarian, will you please read item number 5?
Item 5 is a special resolution celebrating the 40th anniversary of the Memphis and Shelby County Film and Television Commission, sponsored by Chairwoman Shantae Avant.
All right, thank you. All right, good afternoon, Chairwoman Avant.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Whaley. I'd like to invite Lynn Sittler from the Memphis and Shelby County Film and Television Commission to come forward, and anyone else that you'd like to bring forward as a part of the Memphis and Shelby County. As we know, Memphis has a long and rich history of arts and culture. And it is my pleasure to be able to recognize what has become such a great asset to this community. The Memphis and Shelby County Film and Television Commission was established in 1985 to attract film, television, and commercial productions to our community, as well as advancing the growth of the entertainment industry while preserving the cultural richness of our city. They are really excited to honor them today because they are celebrating their 40th anniversary. And so it is with great pride that I'm able to present this resolution. I won't read all of the details, but I would like to say that read a few of the whereas clauses. Whereas through its dedication, advocacy, and leadership, the Memphis and Shelby County Film and Television Commission has not only elevated the profile of our community, but also preserved and advanced its legacy as its cultural and artistic hub. And whereas throughout its history, the Film Commission has recruited and or assisted in the production of many notable films and television projects, including but not limited to The Silence of the Lamb in 1990, The Firm in 1993, Castaway in 2000, Hustle and Flow in 2005, Walk the Line in 2005, Great Balls of Fire in 1989, and The People vs. Larry Flint in 1996. Whereas 2025 marks the 40th anniversary of the Memphis and Shelby County Film and Television Commission, a milestone achievement deserving of public recognition and its celebration as it embodies the power of film as an art form, economic driver, and bridge between cultures and communities. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Shelby County Board of Commissioners hereby honors and recognizes the Memphis and Shelby County Film and Television Commission on its 40th anniversary with best wishes for continued success for the decades to come.
Well, my chairman, Gail Jones Carson, is going to speak, but I wanted to say thank you for all the years that you have supported us, which is 40 years, ever since the beginning. As a matter of fact, my predecessor, Marthella Maxwell, started here in this building, and we had our own offices here for several years. So without you all, we never would have survived and prospered. And I want to thank you, and I want to thank my loyal, wonderful board members for coming today an hour early so that we could all be together and show our support for you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Leah. I don't really have much to, should I say my name and address? Okay, Gail Jones Carson. Okay. I just want to thank Chairwoman Shantae Avant for this recognition. I also want to thank each of the commissioners here for the work that you do. And I want to thank Lynn Sittler, who has been with the commission and has led this organization for over 30 years. And I can't thank her without thanking Sharon Fox O'Gwen. They have held the ground at this organization for many, many, many years. And as the commissioner has mentioned, we've done such great work in the area of TV production, with TV and film and commercials here in Memphis, and providing the support that's needed to uplift Memphis and others in this industry. So I just can't say enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you, Lynn and Sharon, and the board members. Okay.
All right, thank you all so much, Lynn and team. Thank you for being here. Before you sit down, I'm going to go to Commissioner Sugarman, who wanted to share a few words with you.
Thank you so much. Congratulations to the Memphis and Shelby County Film and Television Commission on celebrating your 40th anniversary, for bringing creativity, culture, and storytelling excellence to the world. And I just want to mention real quickly, not only do you all showcase the creatives that we have in Memphis and Shelby County and show the world, but also you reach back to the young people with your internship programs and things of that nature, because not only do we need people in front of the camera, but also need people in behind the camera. So thank you for all the work that you do. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Sugarman. Commissioner Lowry?
Thank you, Chair. Again, just congratulations. Thank you for all the work you've done. For a commission to be around 40 years, that's staying power. That says something about the leadership as well as the board and everything else. So thank you for all the work you've done to all, because your mission is to support Memphis and Shelby County at the end of the day. And hopefully we're looking to have other commissions that support other arts, just as you've done with film. So thank you for leading the way.
All right, thank you. Thank you all again for being here this afternoon, and congratulations, and for many years to come. Thank you. All right, unless Chairwoman Avant objects, Commissioners, why don't we put 2 minutes on the clock to review the consent agenda, and then we'll read it into the record.
Madam Parliamentarian, please read the consent agenda into the record.
Items 6 and 7 come from the Budget and Finance Committee, which is chaired by Commissioner Whaley. Item 6 is a resolution approving a single-source vendor contract for services related to the trustees' tax collection system for project management services with mergers, acquisitions, divestitures, PLLC, in an amount not to exceed $126,000 from September 15th, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. This contract will be expended against the Capital Improvement Program CIP funds. This item requires the expenditure funds in a total amount not to exceed $126,000, sponsored by Commissioner Michael Whaley. Item 7 is a resolution approving the purchase of OPEX Falcon Plus Red with OPEX Corporation in a total amount not to exceed $124,190. This item requires the expenditure of FY 2026 Capital Improvement Fund in the amount not to exceed $124,190, sponsored by Commissioner Michael Whaley. Item 8 comes from the Public Works Committee with Vice Chair Bradford chairing. Item 8 is a resolution approving a contract with Bell and Associates Construction LLC in the amount of $2,798,000 $1,090 and an extra work allowance in the amount of $200,000 for a total amount of $2,998,090 and a grant agreement with the Tennessee Department of Transportation for the repair of the Collierville-Arlington Road Overflow Bridge. This item requires the appropriation of FY 2026 state aid grant funds in the amount of $2,938,128.20 and roads and bridges state gas tax funds in the amount of $59,961.80 for a total appropriation of $2,998,090, sponsored by Vice Chair David C. Bradford Jr. Items 9 and 10 come from the Law Enforcement Corrections and Courts Committee, which is chaired by Commissioner Wright. Item 9 is a resolution to approve contract with Avertest LLC, DBA Aver Health, in the amount of $575,000 for the purpose of random drug testing and laboratory confirmation services for participants of the Shelby County Drug Court, Veterans Court, Mental Health Court, Pretrial Services, and the Behavioral Health Unit for the period commencing with the execution of the contract through June 30th, 2026, with the option to renew for 2 additional one-year periods in the amount of $575,000. This item requires expenditure of FY 2026 general funds and grant funds in an amount not to exceed $575,000, sponsored by Commissioner McWright. Item 10 is a resolution approving a memorandum of understanding between the City of Lakeland, Tennessee, and the Shelby County Sheriff's Office regarding the use of a work site for a police presence within the City of Lakeland, Tennessee, sponsored by Commissioner McWright. Item 11 comes from the General Government Committee, which is chaired by Commissioner Brooks. Item 11 is a resolution approving the election of notaries public for appointment and or reappointment for Shelby County, Tennessee, sponsored by Commissioner Henry E. Brooks. Items 12 and 13 come from the Core City, Neighborhoods, and Housing Committee, which is chaired by Commissioner Brooks. Item 12 is a resolution approving a 4-month extension for the countywide grounds maintenance services contract with multiple vendors in an amount not to exceed $548,208. This extension will allow sufficient time to complete seasonal lot maintenance and the issuance of the request for proposal for the lot maintenance program. This item requires the expenditure of FY 2026 general funds in an amount not to exceed $548,208, sponsored by Commissioner Henry E. Brooks and Commissioner David C. Bradford Jr. Item 13 is a resolution approving the sale of 73 county-owned delinquent tax parcels acquired by Shelby County from various Shelby County tax sales to identified purchasers at various prices, collectively totaling $483,528.75 pursuant to Tennessee Code Annotated Section 67-5-2507 and authorizing the Shelby County Mayor to execute quitclaim deeds, sponsored by Commissioner Henry E. Brooks. Item 14 comes from the Facilities, Real Property, and Capital Improvements Committee, which is chaired by Commissioner Wright. Item 14 is a resolution approving a 4-year lease agreement between the City of Millington and Shelby County government on behalf of the Shelby County Sheriff's Office for approximately 10,000 square feet of space located at 7950 Memphis Avenue, Millington, Tennessee, 38053, for the term beginning October 1, 2025 through September 30, 2029, with an option to extend the lease on a month-to-month basis upon the same terms and conditions as are set forth in the lease, with a contract amount not to exceed $100 for the first year. Each anniversary year, the annual rent will increase by 5%. This item requires expenditure of FY 2026 Shelby County Sheriff's Office General Fund, sponsored by Commissioner McWright.
Okay, could I get a motion for the consent agenda? A motion by Commissioner Sugarman, a second by Commissioner Wright. Madam Clerk, could you please prepare the screen for a vote? Madam Clerk, please report the tally.
We have aye votes from Commissioners Whaley, Sugarman, Mills, Wright, Warrenton, Morrison, and Chairwoman Avant have 7 aye votes.
Consent agenda passes. Madam Parliamentarian, if you could, read item number 15.
Item 15 comes from the Hospitals and Health Committee with Commissioner Morrison as Vice Chair. Item 15 is an ordinance second reading, ordinance to amend Chapter 42 of the Shelby County Code of Ordinances to establish advance notice requirements for lead hazard reduction in plumbing work and to amend Chapter 6 to provide a cross-reference to such requirements. Sponsored by Commissioner Brittany Thornton, this item was sent down without recommendation in October 1st, 2025 committee meeting.
Have a motion by Commissioner Morrison, second by Commissioner Sugarman. Madam Clerk, please prepare the screen for a vote. Madam Clerk, please prepare the vote. Report the vote.
We have aye votes from Commissioners Whaley, Sugarman, Mills, Wright, Lowry, and Chairwoman Avant. Commissioner Morrison has abstained. I have 6 ayes and 1 abstain.
Okay, that will move on to the third reading. Parliamentarian, please read item number 16.
Item 16 comes from the Land Use Planning, Transportation, and Code Enforcement Committee with Vice Chair Bradford as Chair. Item 16 is an ordinance first reading, joint ordinance amending the 2021 Memphis and Shelby County Building Code so as to amend storm shelter requirements for educational buildings and add a new appendix relating to optional middle-scale housing construction requirements, sponsored by Vice Chair David C. Bradford, Jr.
I have a motion by Commissioner Sugarman, a second by Commissioner Morrison. Commissioner Bradford is not here. Is there someone who could, Commissioner Morrison, could you provide a committee report?
Yes, this comes down with a favorable recommendation.
Thank you. Commissioner Ford?
Thank you. What type of recommendation was it given?
I thought it was favorable.
Okay. Well, I got some challenges with this ordinance.
I'm sorry, I think this may have come down without a recommendation.
Perhaps all of them came down without.
I think
Okay, I
all of
just
the
checked.
ordinances, because they were on their first or second reading,
You are
came down.
correct, thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, Commissioner Morrison. Commissioner Ford?
All right, thank you. I hope the essence of this ordinance is not to cut corners and to find savings on the backs of children's safety. And the reason why I say that is I knew that something like this was going to come. This question came up when we were talking about the STEM lab in Whitehaven, which we're finally having the ribbon cutting on Wednesday. Thank goodness. But the question came up, and one thing that I did not want to happen is we just try to find savings off the backs of our children's safety. So I know that we're on first reading and there will be more conversation. But I just want to know what was determined in order to put this type of ordinance in place to amend the storm shelter requirements, where it's now saying it would be optional instead of required. And did student safety, was student safety part of that conversation, and where are we at on that?
Well, that's very interesting.
And I
Yeah,
know who you are, I think, but for people that don't know.
I am Rita Anderson. I'm the building official for Department of Construction Enforcement, a division of Planning and Development. And we're proposing 2 amendments, and one is the storm shelter. The storm shelter was initially adopted in the 2015 code. And it wasn't until we adopted the 2021, and there was a lot of schools that were applying for permits, and the storm shelter was a requirement. The city of Memphis issued a moratorium on the requirement in October of last year. And part of their recommendation was to have the Building Advisory Board make a recommendation to them as to how to move forward on this issue. The state of Tennessee in April of this year adopted the 2021 code, and they amended out of the requirement for the storm shelters. The storm shelters for educational buildings applies to children from kindergarten to 12th grade. This is not a code issue, it's a financial issue.
I know.
Yeah.
It goes back to what I said before. I don't want finances getting in the way of not looking at what's important as far as safety for our youth.
Right.
So I can get back in the queue since it's just me, but my question is also going to be, has this come in front of the city council yet? And if so, when and what
It has-
reading are they on?
Yeah, it has come to the city council, and on September 23rd, last month, it passed the first reading.
Okay. I won't get back in the queue, Chair. I'll just, right now, I'm a no because I need more information and I don't think we need to shortchange. There's no dollar figure you can tell me that we can save if we can't save a life that may need to be saved, just in case
Well,
that one
this-
thing happens. But we got 2 more readings, so we can have an offline on that.
Right, I can provide a little bit of information. The Building Advisory Board, they spent months
Sure.
going through that, and the larger the school, the less impact it has. The smaller the school, the more financial impact it has on that.
Tell that to a parent or somebody else like that. There's no study you're going to be able to tell a parent,
I know.
in my opinion. I'm done. We'll have more conversation later. Thank you.
Commissioner Whaley?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Can you just clarify the specific jurisdiction that we have on our end with this ordinance? Because my understanding is that the city, if they pass it, would apply to the city of Memphis. Should we pass it, our jurisdiction is exclusively, in many cases, it's unincorporated Shelby County. So can you just clarify what our jurisdiction is as it relates to this ordinance?
Yeah, the jurisdiction can decide not to adopt it, and that's okay. It's not a joint ordinance with the city and the county.
Right. So what I'm just trying to clarify is the county's jurisdiction does not include the city of Memphis, even though the city of Memphis is within the county. Is that correct?
Correct.
So it's just unincorporated Shelby County, or does it include the other municipalities?
It includes the unincorporated Shelby County.
Okay, so just to be clear, this ordinance just applies to unincorporated Shelby County.
That does not apply to Bartlett, Carterville.
Right.
It does apply to Germantown, Lakeland, the other jurisdictions, municipalities that we have, Millington.
Sorry, so it does apply to them.
Yes, I'm sorry, it does apply to them as well.
So the only,
So anything it's not within the city limits would be city of Memphis. The rest would be the county. Now, there's two communities that we don't enforce, is Bartlett and Carterville. It would apply to all the other municipalities.
okay, so just to be super clear,
Yes.
the jurisdiction for this, our jurisdiction is unincorporated Shelby County,
Yes.
and the other municipalities except for Memphis, Bartlett, and Arlington,
No, Carterville.
Collierville.
Yes, correct.
So Memphis, Bartlett, and Collierville are not included.
Well, Memphis has already approved the first reading.
No,
Right, but no, it would not be included. So we don't have any jurisdiction over Bartlett and Carterville. The city of Memphis has, it's separate.
Okay, all right, thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Clerk, if you could prepare the screen for a vote. Madam Clerk, please report the vote.
We have aye votes from Commissioners Whaley, Clay Bibbs, Wright, Thornton, Morrison, Lowry, and Chairwoman Avant. We have Commissioner Ford is voting no. Commissioners Sugarman and Mills have abstained. I have 7 ayes, 1 no, and 2 abstain.
That moves on to a second reading. I do want to clarify from the record, our on-base administrator did clarify that these did move with approval. So I just want to make sure that's clarified for the record. Thank you, Commissioner Morrison, helping us try to keep that straight from our memory on Wednesday. Parliamentarian, if you could read item number 17.
Item 17 comes from the Land Use Planning, Transportation, and Code Enforcement Committee, which is chaired by Vice Chair Bradford. Item 17 is an ordinance first reading, joint ordinance amending the 2021 Memphis and Shelby County existing building code so as to amend storm shelter requirements for educational buildings and optional middle-scale housing construction requirements, sponsored by Commissioner David C. Bradford, Jr.
Okay, can I get a motion? A motion by Commissioner Wright, a second by Commissioner Morrison. Commissioner Morrison, can I get a committee report?
So then if I heard you correctly, this did come down with a favorable recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Ford?
Thank you. Is the difference between 16 and 17, one deals with new and one deals with existing?
It does.
You could
I
state
kn-
your name for the, I'm sorry.
Because
Yeah.
we have two different codes. One is the International Building Code that applies for new construction. The existing building code is for an alteration to an existing building.
Could you please state your name and
I'm
position
sorry,
for the
Rita
record?
Anderson. I'm the billing official for Code Enforcement at Division Planning and Development.
Okay. Even though one's new and one's existing, my vote will still be the same. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, if you could prepare the screen for a vote. Madam Clerk, please report the vote.
We have aye votes from Commissioners Whaley, Clay Bibbs, Caswell, Wright, Thornton, Morrison, Lowry, and Chairwoman Avant. Commissioner Ford has voted no. Commissioners Sugarman and Mills have abstained. We have 8 ayes, 1 no, and 2 abstain.
Okay, that motion passes, moves on to a second reading. Parliamentarian, please read item number 18.
Item 18 comes from the Land Use Planning, Transportation, and Code Enforcement Committee, which is chaired by Vice Chair Bradford. Item 18 is an ordinance first reading, ordinance amending the 2021 Shelby County Fire Prevention Code, sponsored by Vice Chair David C. Bradford, Jr.
I have a motion by Commissioner Whaley, a second by Commissioner Morrison. Commissioner Morrison, could you give a committee report?
Yes, this comes down with a favorable recommendation.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, please prepare the screen for a vote. Madam Clerk, if you could report the vote.
We have aye votes from Commissioners Whaley, Clay Bibbs, Caswell, Sugarman, Ford, Wright, Thornton, Morrison, Lowry, and Chairwoman Avant. Commissioner Mills has abstained. Have 10 ayes and 1 abstain.
All right, that motion passes and moves on to a second reading. Parliamentarian, please read item number 19.
Item 19 comes from the General Government Committee, which is chaired by Commissioner Brooks. Item 19 is an ordinance, second reading, ordinance amending the Shelby County Charter to amend 1, Article 5, Section 5.24, recall of elected county officers, and 2, Article 6, Section 6.02, County Board of Education, sponsored by Commissioner Erica Sugarman. This item was sent down without recommendation in October 1st, 2025 committee meeting.
I have a motion by Commissioner Sugarman, a second by Commissioner Ford. Madam Clerk, please prepare the screen for a vote. I'm sorry, could I get a committee report?
It comes down
Is
without
Commissioner Morrison?
without a recommendation.
Thank you. This item came down without a recommendation. Madam Clerk, please prepare the screen for a vote. Madam Clerk, please report the vote.
We have aye votes from Commissioners Whaley, Clay Bibbs, Sugarman, Mills, Ford, Wright, Thornton, Lowry, and Chairwoman Avant. Commissioner Morrison has abstained. I have 9 ayes and 1 abstain.
That motion passes. It moves on to a third reading. Parliamentarian, please read item number 20.
Item 20 comes from the Workforce Development Committee with Chairwoman Avant as acting chair. Item 20 is an ordinance second reading, an ordinance amending Article 4, Division 3, Section 2-231 of the Shelby County Code of Ordinances, creating a procurement initiative to incentivize apprenticeship programs for construction vendors in Shelby County. Sponsored by Commissioner Erica Sugarman and Commissioner Brittany Thornton, the signing was sent down without recommendation in October 1st, 2025 committee meeting.
I have a motion by Commissioner Sugarman, a second by Commissioner Whaley. This was sit down without recommendation. Commissioner Sugarman, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And so I just wanted to tell us, the listening audience, as well as the tradesmen, as well as construction companies, as well as school districts that I've met with for many, many days, many, many weeks, many, many months. It just boils down to the fact that, I've been voicing my concern of not having an attorney. I know Attorney White is very capable and everything, but sometimes I need her vote on the city side. So it's just been some huge obstacles and issues. And so having said that, I'm just going to withdraw this ordinance at this point in time. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Sugarman, who is...
That's a motion to move to withdraw this ordinance.
Because you are withdrawing, there's not a motion needed as the maker of the resolution. Yes. We can do that without objection. Okay? So, Parliamentarian, we've removed that item from, this ordinance has been removed from consideration. All right, we are now moving, Parliamentarian, if you could read item number 21.
Item 21 comes from the Land Use Planning, Transportation, and Code Enforcement Committee, which is chaired by Vice Chair Bradford. Item 21 is a resolution approving the appeal of Elizabeth Carroza seeking to overturn the action of the Memphis and Shelby County Land Use Control Board approving a 97-lot major subdivision at the subject property municipally known as 0 Billy Mayer Road at the west of Billy Mayer Road, approximately 1,000 feet north of the intersection of Rensselaer Drive and Billy Mayer Road, known as case number S 2025-030. Sponsored by Commissioner Charlie A. Caswell Jr., this item was deferred in September 22nd, 2025 commission meeting. Chair, once this item is properly before us, I ask that you allow me to read the pertinent portion of the rule into the record.
I have a motion by Commissioner Sugarman. I have a second by Commissioner Whaley. Parliamentarian, if you could read the procedural rules for this hearing.
Yes, ma'am. The pertinent section of Rule 32 land use cases begins with subsection F, public hearings, Roman numeral 2, commission. The following procedure shall be utilized on land use cases during any regular or special meeting of the Shelby County Board of Commissioners. You'll begin with a staff presentation in which the staff presents introduction and description of case. Commissioners may ask questions of staff during this time. And you go to the applicant's presentation, which is to last 10 minutes maximum. The applicant shall present his or her case. Supporters may also speak during this time. Commissioners may ask questions of the applicant or supporters during this time, but only while each speaker is at the podium and before the next speaker has been recognized by the chair. Then you have opponent's presentation, which is also 10 minutes maximum. The opponent shall present their case. Board members ask questions of the opponents, but only while each speaker is at the podium and before the next speaker has been recognized by the chair. With respect to the applicant's presentation and the opponent's presentation, please note that these times, this 10-minute maximum, are cumulative for all speakers. The chair may elect to allow additional time to both sides, provided both sides are given equal time. Additionally, the 10-minute maximum time limit or any additional time limit provided by the chair shall not include question and answer periods between the applicant's supporters or opponents and commissioners. Then there is rebuttal by the applicant, which is 3 minutes maximum. Then you have the final question and answer period. Commissioners may ask questions of applicant, supporters, or opponents during this period. Any board member may recognize any party in the audience to ask questions. Then you can have a discussion. Once seconded, the commission chair shall call for discussion. During discussion, commissioners may ask additional questions of staff. Additional questions may be posed to the applicant, supporters, and opponents, but only upon the passage of a motion to suspend the rules to reopen the public hearing. Once reopened, the commission shall allow equal time to applicants, supporters, and opponents. And finally, the chair calls for a vote.
Thank you, Parliamentarian. We'll now move forward with the presentation. Mr. Ragsdale.
Thank you, Commissioner Avant. Brett Ragsdale with the Division of Planning and Development. Ms. Nera will give a brief presentation. I did want to mention that Mr. Whitehead just did send out a substitute resolution that you have. There is an additional condition that we're going to offer as well that we just spoke about. So at the end of Ms. Nera's presentation, that will be there. And if that does get adopted, we can get the substitute resolution with that condition to you as soon as possible. So Ms. Nera will give the presentation.
Good afternoon. I'm Nabanita Nero with DPD presenting the appeal to overturn the action of Land Use Control Board approval of case S 2025-030 located at 0 Billy Maher Road, 97 lot major residential subdivision.
Madam Chair, excuse me one second. Madam Chair, point of order. Can we ask our guest to maybe move up here? I'm having a really hard time hearing this microphone.
Absolutely. If you could come and sit here. We're going to have to work on the microphone system. It continues to seem to be a little worse every meeting, that it's hard to hear just from the podium.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, but please get comfortable. Sit down and get comfortable for your presentation and move the microphone where necessary.
Thank you. Next slide, please. These are the location map and vicinity map. Next slide, please. On your screen are the zoning map and land use map. The subject property is zoned R8 and surrounded by single-family residential. Next slide, please. The 22.11 acre site is currently vacant. On your screen are the site photos. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. To give a little background, the preliminary plan known as Patterson Ridge subdivision was originally approved in 2004 with section B and C, which is the subject property. However, a final plat was never recorded, and these sections of the approved subdivision subsequently expired. Next slide, please. This is the proposed preliminary plan of 2 phases. The subdivision meets the UDC regulations of R8 zoning district. Next slide, please. In conclusion, the proposed preliminary plan is compatible with and in keeping with the character of development in the neighborhood and conforms with all applicable provision. Next slide, please. The Division of Planning and Development recommended approval with conditions, and on August 14, 2025, the Land Use Control Board approved with condition. Next slide, please. These are the conditions that Land Use Control Board approved. Next slide, please. This is the applicant appeal letter. The appellant major concern area are traffic impact, environmental or stormwater, and community impact. Next slide, please. The applicant submitted revised preliminary plan and conditions for the committee meeting. Next slide, please. These were the previous condition. Next slide, please. After the applicant worked with the appellant, this is the final revised preliminary plan that was submitted. This is on your screen. This revised preliminary plan is of maximum 95 lots with walking trails within common open space, temporary and permanent detention ponds, and have 2 access to the subdivision. Next slide, please. The proposed revised conditions are on your screen. 1 to 5 conditions that approved by the LUCV. The applicant proposed the conditions from 6 to 9, which included guaranteeing waiver from any sections of the UDC code related to stub streets, block length, and dead-end street. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Next one, please. After talking with the applicant, we recommend to add this one condition.
And Madam Chair, Brett Ragsdale with the Division of Planning and Development. Thank you, Ms. Nara. So this is the condition that I mentioned, and so the initial concept plan that was presented to us and approved by LUCB had 5 connections to existing streets that were designed to be connected to this neighborhood. I think some of the opposition wanted those to be eliminated, and so that just pushes traffic to other places. So we offered this condition that we think is a good compromise that would allow the applicant, once, if it is approved, to do their traffic impact study, and then we would review that in consultation with the county engineer and make a determination on which exits are the most critical. I did speak with the county engineer, and Billy Mayer has a lot of capacity, so it's not an issue of pushing it out there. It's just where's the best place to get a little bit of relief. So this would give us flexibility between the 2 to 5. And so this is the additional condition that we would recommend that we think is a reasonable compromise.
Okay, if there are commissioners who have questions for the administration and the presentation, if not, then we will move forward with the presentation by the opponent. There's a maximum of 10 minutes for that presentation. I'd like to afford them the same courtesy. If you'd like to come have a seat here to make your presentation, you can have a seat here. Could state your name.
My name is Elizabeth Carroza. I live at 5649 Rensselaer Drive in Memphis, zip code 38135. I did appeal the initial Land Use Control Board approval, and we have met with the developer, his attorney, the person who conducted the travel study, and we agreed that at this time, we would not have any of the streets leading into Brownsville Woods or Eagle Ridge subdivision. Those are the 3 streets that would feed directly into Rensselaer Drive. Rensselaer is a 2-lane road, about 50 to 60 driveways line it, and it's not a wide road. We wanted to make sure that the traffic did not just overload us in that area. It's already a busy street. We have petitioned in the past to have St. Elmo completed. That was not done yet. We still would like to, at some point, meet with the commission to try to get that completed. We had traffic and safety concerns. We had requests from Spring Lake and Willoughby Oaks to have some environmental and stormwater studies done, because this property is an area where there's quite a bit of drainage from water, and there's some ponds in there that are now the retaining. On the map that they submitted, they had several drainage areas that they're expecting will take care of that. At this point, I'm not sure what sort of other studies need to be done. The other actions we asked about were having some parks or walking trails within the area. We don't have any services from the county in that area as far as schools, community centers, things like that, and we're building another neighborhood into that area that's already pretty densely populated. So I think we've agreed at this point to go ahead and not have the roads into Brownsville Woods and Eagle Ridge. That was one of our main concerns. Thank you.
And Ms. Carrozza, is that based on the condition that was just presented by Mr. Ragsdale?
Yes, I
That you're in
believe
a-
it was. We were provided that map this morning, so we did take a look at it. It looks like it has addressed those concerns. We are concerned about the traffic going on to Billy Mayer. It's a narrow road. There's a lot of traffic on it at this point. We are a community that's growing and expected to grow further. So the two entrances going on to Billy Mayer are of concern because we will have additional 95 houses in that area with traffic feeding directly into Billy Mayer.
Mr. Ragsdale, if you could come back just to address if the condition that has been presented, not yet approved, but has been presented would, and I understand the traffic studies, if you could just elaborate.
Yes, Brett Ragsdale with DPD. So the condition that we have proposed would allow us to study, it would allow us to get the traffic impact study that the applicant will do, and then make the determination on which entrances would be better used. So what the agreement was that you came to with the applicant, it may be the final solution, but some of those entrances might actually be opened back up. Because part of the issue is if you cut the traffic off from going to this neighborhood, well, it's going to go to the other neighborhood. So, we have to find the best balance of that. So it may not be exactly what you had agreed to, but I mean, it could be. We just have to get the traffic impact study to see what those connections, the best connections would be.
Okay, there's a commissioner in the queue. Ms. Carrozza, did you want to make another comment?
Yes, there are currently, I mean, we did look at the traffic studies that were done over a 48-hour period. We felt like those were not sufficient. Rensselaer is a well-traveled street, 30-mile-an-hour speed limit. I think we had about, I can't remember exactly how many cars, about 800 a day or so, to my recollection. Any more traffic on that street is a real hazard. We have a lot of trouble getting out of our driveways. It's a residential street with driveways all the way down it. And all additional traffic is a problem. We've been trying to get that street, Pecan Trace is another street within that neighborhood, further over to the south. And we have a lot of traffic going from Billy Mayer to Old Brownsville, from Raleigh to Memphis, back into Bartlett. Rensselaer is a street that continues into Bartlett on daybreak. It's all one street, different names. So we have a very large concern about more traffic coming onto that street without sufficient traffic studies done on Billy Mayer and Old Brownsville and the completion of St. Elmo. So that's our main problem right now. Thank you.
Okay. We have a couple of commissioners that are in queue. Commissioner Caswell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, I thank you all, and Ms. Liz is one of my strong constituents there in District 3 and District 6 rather, and being able to take me on a drive around the community to really get to know the needs of that community. Again, I attend a couple of meetings with stakeholders in that district, and again, working alongside the developers as they have been to try to discuss ways that we can make an impact up there and make this work for everybody. I know it's concerns even from those on the Bartlett side that some of the water would have ran over or will run over into their pond in their lake that they got across the street, and that's why they added a pond at the front near Billy Mayer to capture some of their water. Talking with planning and development, some of the sewage things that'll be done will kind of mitigate some of that happening, the runoff or any runover into the Bartlett side of this development. As it is with the streets, one of the things I know that it was a concern because as me and Ms. Liz and them drove Billy Mayer, when we talk about that exit going in, it's like two roads going there. I think you all are talking about adding a turning lane or something there?
Brett Ragsdale with DPD, that's correct. There is a turning lane that's being added at Billy Mayer.
And also, you know, I just say this, and one of the things I know was almost going to be 100 and some houses built. And talking with the developers, I was talking to them about the need of our community up there wanting a park for that community. They agreed. I think it's going to be about 2 or 3 additional spaces, green spaces with walking tracks added for those in that community and surrounding area. So I think it too addresses some of that that we've been asking for in that area. I know we got some additional things that'll be needing done, such as the streets needing paving. I don't think it's been done in a while. I've been talking with planning and development about when that term is coming around, and I'll get that information to you. But Ms. Liz, at this point though, are you satisfied with where we are to be able to move? Is the community satisfied with where we are, you feel, to be able to move forward with the developers doing this development there?
As long as that traffic's not fed onto Rensselaer and there's some sort of modification done on Billy Mayer to prevent the traffic just flooding out onto Billy Mayer in that area. And then turning around and coming down Rensselaer, because that is the next main street from that entrance.
Yeah. And so from this, that this land was already zoned to be residential land for this community, right? Okay. You want?
Brett Ragsdale with DPD, that's correct.
Okay.
And this plan was actually approved, a similar plan, in 2004. So it's been designed for quite some time and planned for this.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Commissioner Thornton?
Thank you, Chair. You know, it's custom of the commission to really show deference to the respective commissioner, understanding that you've met with your constituents. What I hear you saying, though, is that the traffic impact study is going to make the ultimate decision upon us passing this particular resolution. Is that correct?
Brett Ragsdale with DPD. With this condition, that's what that would allow. It would allow the further traffic impact study to be done and then make a decision on what those connections
So
would
there's
be.
the potential that we pass this resolution, it triggers the traffic impact study, and then what is ultimately decided conflicts with what the constituent wants?
That's correct. It could show that the connection to some of these neighborhoods are important and should be kept. Because from a planning perspective, these connections, and they're required by the UDC, they are important. And that's the reason it was designed in this way in the first place. You know, we have these stub streets that are already designed to connect. And so we may not need all of them, but that it was designed to be a connected neighborhood with the other neighborhoods. And so you know, we weren't in favor of closing any of them as a planning principle. It's just, it's not you know, good planning, but you don't necessarily need all of them. So that's the condition that we discussed and thought would be an approach to allowing that to further, you know, do the impact study and make those determinations.
So the feedback that we are receiving from the citizen that's present is a very clear objection to increased traffic in certain spaces. What is the likelihood that that would not become the reality? And if it, after we pass the resolution, the traffic study does make decisions that would increase that traffic in the space where she's clearly said there's a disinterest to see increased traffic, what is their recourse to be able to challenge, I guess, what ultimately would become their reality?
There would be a final plat that would be submitted, and you know, that could be challenged. But if it's something that we could, you know, come back to the Land Use Control Board for that review, and that could be something that could be discussed as well. But, you know, one of the things that I would point out that, you know, there are lots of neighborhoods all around here. So, and again, one of the issues when you close one area, it's going to push it to another. So there are a lot of different factors that come into play with this and the decisions. So, you know, working with the engineers and looking at the true traffic is really the way to determine where those impacts will be.
Okay, before I call on you again, Commissioner Thornton, Mr. Ragsdale, with the new condition, are you asking us to, is this a substitute to the resolution or just another exhibit or an amendment?
That would be an amendment. That would be a condition that would be added to the one that you have right now.
Okay.
And it's something that you can consider. It's, there was a lot of discussion of different neighbors having different opinions on, again, if you close one, then it's going to go to the other. So this was an opportunity that you could consider that gives that flexibility.
Okay.
But if you wanted to approve it as it is right now, as you have it, it actually closes 3 connections and only has 2. So you could approve it in that way if you wanted to as well, which is what Ms. Kokoza.
Okay, so I guess based on the information that's been provided, why don't we read what the condition is so that it's in the record, and then folks can have an opportunity, if that is something that we want to approve, to add as, or amend as a part of this resolution or not. So if you, is there a copy of the condition?
Madam Chair. So is this resolution that was just submitted to us, is this with the amendment added to that?
It is not, Brett Ragsdale with DPD. This is an amendment we just talked about, so it's not added to anything. So it was just the one that we had just discussed as a potential condition that we could add.
So I need that.
Could you ask, could you read it into the record, but also is there someone that could provide a copy of it so the commissioners could have, so they could have it reduced to writing?
Yes. You may go ahead and read it in.
Please.
Yes. So the condition number 10 would be, a minimum of 2 street connections are required, one of which must be to Billy Mayer Road. The required street connections shall be based on the traffic impact study, subject to review and approval of the zoning administrator with the consultation with the county engineer.
And Mr. Ragsdale, if you could just explain again for the record, if this particular amendment is accepted, how does it differ from what was originally presented in the resolution? And how does that contrast with, I guess, or align with the comments made by Ms. Carrozza?
Thank you, Brett Ragsdale, DPD. So the original resolution actually had all the connections. So what you had until today was the 5 connections. The substitute that was just presented by Mr. Whitehead actually reduces it to the 2 connections, and that's what Ms. Carrozza had agreed to. So this would change the current substitute that you were just presented with to add this condition.
Is there a motion to accept the amendment? I have a motion by Commissioner Caswell. There's a second by Commissioner Thornton. Can we do that without objection? Okay, I'm going to go back to commissioners in the queue. Commissioner Thornton?
Thank you, Chairwoman. Your questions help me. I just want to make sure, sometimes when we're talking planning speak and then there's like everyday constituents involved, we can get lost in what the amendments and the conditions being added do for what they actually want. So I'm just looking to you to just hear that you are on board with us adding the conditions, and then also okay with the potential that after the traffic study comes back, that it could potentially not be what you want, and that you have clear understanding of what your next options are. So if you could just educate us on it, what are the steps after the resolution is passed, and then if the constituents ultimately are not satisfied with how things pan out, what are their options to be able to come back to the table to appeal on their behalf?
Brett Ragsdale with DPD. So once the traffic impact study would be done, we would review that with county engineering. If a determination was made that some of the connections that Ms. Carrozza is opposing, we could discuss that. It may or may not show any of these connections are needed. So at that point, it's really a matter of the county engineer and working with them to determine where the best, connections are to mitigate the traffic.
And you're in full understanding of where this constituent group does not want to see increased traffic flow?
Yes.
Okay. And in the off chance that after it's reviewed by engineering, that the constituents still have an issue, what can they do to be able to address those issues?
So we could discuss with them, and if there's once a final plat would be issued, they could appeal that.
And they appeal that where?
They could appeal it to, they would appeal the decision that the zoning administrator makes. And so I would need to go and determine exactly where that decision would go. So if there's a discussion and there's a disagreement on where those connections are, I would have to figure out where that would go, because I'm not exactly sure. So.
Okay, so in future conversations, let's just bring that into the main discussion. And if you could ensure that the commission is made aware of where that appeal would go, as well as the constituents that you've been connected to.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Commissioner Wright?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to make sure, is this substitute on the floor? I thought we made a motion to amend it, but I didn't hear it getting on the floor.
It did.
Okay, all right.
Yes, we had a motion and we did that without objection. Substitute was what was in. What's this?
Nobody moved to substitute.
Okay, so Mr. Axel, the substitute that's before us, was this what we reviewed in committee, or this is additional substitute?
The substitute that was passed out by Mr. Whitehead was not reviewed in committee. That's,
Okay, so procedurally, we probably need to withdraw the amendment because the substitute was never moved onto the floor. So what we have now done is we have amended, the body has amended the resolution that was approved or went down with approval at Wednesday's committee. So the substitute has not been moved, and that is not what is before us. So,
My apologies, thank you,
Yes.
Commissioner
correct.
Wright.
That's correct.
All right, so at this point, how do we remove the amendment?
So it was moved by Commissioner Caswell, and we can either take it up informally and just withdraw your motion in second, or we can do a reconsideration of the amendment.
Point of information, and to that point, the reason I made that motion for the amendment, because I thought nothing was changing but 10.
Well, there's apparently a substitute that was never brought to
So what
the body's attention.
Yeah.
We
So
would need
that was
to-
never moved onto the
What
floor.
I would
I'm
recommend
okay
is-
with withdrawing, Madam
Yeah,
Chair.
I think so that we can put the substitute before us.
Yeah.
Discuss the substitute, not like Mr. Ragsdale, to be able to explain the substitute that's before us. If we need to come back and make it, accept the amendment
Yeah.
at that time, then we can do so.
Okay, I withdraw for purpose of that.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Withdrawal by Commissioner Caswell, second by Commissioner Sugarman. And if we can do that without objection? Okay. Mr. Ragsdale, if you could elaborate on the substitute that is before us.
Yes, Chair, Brett Ragsdale, Division of Planning and Development. So the substitute that was just passed out, that is from the applicant, and that's what they met with Ms. Carroza last week and agreed to these conditions. So I believe that Mr. Whitehead was going to present that in his presentation as the substitute. So he's already passed that out. So that was not what was at committee. So that would have to be voted on, I'm assuming. And then the condition that I mentioned would be in addition to that.
So just parliamentary, and just so that we're clear, because the substitute was not what we reviewed in committee, they're presenting a new substitute. I want to make sure procedurally, should that have been part of the rebuttal or part of the presentation? Because I thought in the presentation that you all were presenting, that was part of what this substitute is, but you're saying no.
The substitute that you have in front of you, that was not heard at committee because that was just agreed to last week with the applicant and the appellant.
So, sir, do you want this body, do you want a member of this body to move the substitute? If not, then this is not to be taken up at
This is a
time.
substitute by the applicant. The applicant presented this, the substitute you have in front of you.
So,
Is there a member of this body that would like to move the
yeah, I would like to
substitute?
move the substitute.
I have a motion by Commissioner Caswell, a second by Commissioner Wright. Can we do that without objection? Okay. Okay, so at this time, I'm asked for a motion to suspend the rules in order for us to be able to hear the presentation of the substitute that we have just brought before this body so that there's. Okay. It's already.
This is the opponent's substitute.
Who substitute?
Brett Ragsdale with DPD. This is presented by the applicant.
Okay, so at this
So
time.
the
I'm
applicant
gonna
will
give-
be
I'm going to
speaking
give the
after.
applicant 5 minutes to present the substitute resolution, and then we'll give the opponent an additional 5 minutes to rebut if needed. And who from the applicant, who is the applicant that will come and make the
I
presentation?
believe Mr. Whitehead will be.
Okay. You have 5 minutes, Mr. Whitehead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Josh Whitehead, 275 Jefferson. I think really to cut to the chase, I think we are all, as procedurally confusing as this may be, we're all in simpatico. This has been a very dynamic case, and I think because it's been so dynamic and we've been agreeing and compromising since the last we were before you, may have caused some confusion. But yes, the handout that you received moments ago contains a resolution as the third copy of the three-piece handout, and that has 9 conditions. 6, 7, 8, and 9 are in bold because they are in additional, they're a series of additional conditions that were not reviewed by the Land Use Control Board, and I wanted to make sure that that was highlighted for this body. Mr. Ragsdale, out in the hallway, we discussed with members of the opposition that a 10th condition would be added related to some of the street connections. But very quickly, since I have the floor, the first handout kind of explains those conditions of approval. The second page, very briefly, just shows that the dynamic piece of this subdivision goes back about 20 years. And what I've done is I've listed the improvements, in our opinion, that have been made to this subdivision since its original approval, the zoning by this body, and I think the Land Use Control Board approved the original subdivision back in 2004. Obviously, if we're discussing a new condition number 10, then my little note here in the blue at the bottom gets nixed because it may or may not apply. But with that, Madam Chair, I'm available for any questions. But again, I think the 4 members that are here in opposition and I think we're satisfied with the conditions.
We're going to read that into the record.
So the substitute item for this item 21, is a substitute resolution regarding the appeal of Elizabeth Carroza seeking to overturn the action of the Memphis and Shelby County Land Use Control Board approving a 97-lot major subdivision at the subject property municipally known as 0 Billy Meyer Road at the west of Billy Meyer Road, approximately 1,000 feet north of the intersection of Rensselaer Drive and Billy Meyer Road, known as case number S 2025-030, sponsored by Commissioner Charlie Caswell Jr. This substitute was moved by Commissioner Caswell, seconded by Commissioner Wright, and that was done without objection.
Commissioner Wright, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Now that we have the substitute before us, I would make a motion to add that 10th condition.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Wright, second by Commissioner Whaley can we do that without objection? Okay. We have now accepted the amendment to the substitute. Okay, I will now allow if the opponent, Ms. Carrozza, or Ms. Blakely, I don't know if she is in for or against, if she'd like to go ahead and make comments. I'm allotting 5 minutes of time. And Ms. Carrozza, I'm going to allow Ms. Blakely to go first if she has any comments, and there'll be 5 minutes collectively.
Good afternoon. I'm Kathy Blakely. I live at 4046 Eagle Ridge Lane. I'm opposed to this new amendment. The streets of Eagle Ridge and Bedford Road will come down and converge there at the corner of Bedford and Eagle Ridge before they get to Rensselaer, which is going to make it that much more traffic there at that corner. We also have 3 buses that pick up and drop off between 6:20 and 8:30 a.m. and from 2:20 to 4:30 that go to Dexter Elementary, Dexter Middle, and Bolton High School. And both of those streets, Bedford Road and Eagle Ridge Lane, they're narrow streets and they have cars parked on both sides of those streets, day and night. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, Elizabeth Carrozza, Rensselaer Drive. We do object to we agree with the proposal of Mr. Whitehead on changing these stub streets and not coming into our neighborhoods. Also, we have another street, the third entrance into our neighborhood is on Governor, or Riverhead to Governor. That street also feeds straight into Rensselaer. All 3 of these proposed outlets would feed into Rensselaer, and then the traffic would have to go onto Billy Mayer from that area. It would be the same type of congestion in addition to being on Rensselaer. There is 1 stop sign or 2 stop signs. There needs to be definitely a very thorough traffic study of vehicles entering, exiting on Rensselaer to Billy Mayer and Rensselaer to Old Brownsville because of the congestion in that area. Anything else you can think of? That's our main objection. We do agree that these 3 stub streets should be closed. We do also want to point out that anything going onto Billy Mayer needs to have thorough study to make sure that the appropriate signals or stop signs are included in those areas. Currently, there is an exit from Peterson Ridge onto Billy Mayer. That is an existing exit, and the second exit would be the new one from the new subdivision, Bryden Parkway, I believe it's called. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, as part of the rebuttal, the applicant will have 3 minutes for rebuttal, and then we'll close out for any final questions. Thank you, Ms. Blakely and Ms. Carrozza.
Madam Chair, Josh Whitehead again. I think maybe there's some confusion. There's 4 individuals that are here as appellants. We're the appellees. 2 of those individuals have not spoken yet. And I don't know if this requires a suspension of the rules, but I feel like maybe it might put into context the compromise that is represented into condition 10 if you heard from one or both of them.
So if they could come up now as part of that rebuttal. And we'll restart the clock.
Got me now? All right, thank you. Just want to thanks for all the work you do.
State your name and address,
I'm
please.
Blake Moyer. I live at 6036 Willoughby Oak Lane, which is across the street from this property that they've shown you. Originally, we talked about this property. It had 5 entrances, whether it's through Miss Liz's area and then also off of Billy Mayer. Recently, what you've been provided has been 2 entrances for 97 homes. If you do the math, that's a lot of traffic for just 2 streets. So what they've submitted to you guys today is more entrances for people to come through for that traffic that's going to be impacted. There are a lot of children in that area. There are a lot of school buses that come down Billy Mayer, which is the road that myself and Bobby come on every day. So it's just a lot of impact in that area just for the streets. So the revised plan, yes, I do need to study it, but we don't want it to see it just be if it works out, and then we don't know what we're buying, which is what you've been pointing, Commissioner Thornton. So thank you for that.
Okay, is there anyone else that was speaking?
Hello, Commissioners. My name is Bobby Meadows. I live at 6020 Willoughby Oak Lane. Again, just like Blake, I live across the street from this planned development. We also live on a 12-acre lake. Our lake is fed into the city of Bartlett, Quail Ridge. I'm sure many of you are familiar with that. I think our biggest concern is obviously what will happen to runoff. We believe that Mr. Whitehead and the developer have attempted to address that. We do have a 30-year-old, 36-inch corrugated pipe that controls the flow of that 12-acre lake, which we are concerned what we get from this planned development and where it goes to the city of Bartlett. Hopefully, again, that this I think their engineers will meet our concerns, but we're also concerned that the Tennessee Department of Environmental Conservation is involved in this, as well as the city of Bartlett engineering, which has not been addressed. But those are my concerns.
So at this time, if the applicant would like 5 minutes as part of, 3 minutes as part of the rebuttal.
Thank you again, Madam Chair. Josh Whitehead. Very briefly, I did want to be respectful of the comments shared by the neighbors with regard to both traffic and drainage. Let's take drainage first. The way the conditions are set up, particularly with condition number 3, when we file our final plat, that'll go through a process called a memorandum of conformance process. It'll be routed to the county engineer, who will ensure through some of our, going back to condition number 8, will ensure that our temporary and our permanent construction, stormwater ponds will accommodate the silt, the dirt, and other runoff that is occurring both during the construction phase, number 1, and number 2, the forever stage. Subdivisions now are not designed like they used to. Subdivisions used to be designed for the 25-year flood. My subdivision in Midtown was probably designed for no kind of a stormwater accommodation. But we've gotten to the point where we now accommodate with a 100-year flood, which requires, both under TDEC's rules and the county engineer's rules, accommodating the 100-year flood on site before it leaves the property. With regard to traffic, we did, Harvey Matheny is with us with the Pickering firm. He produced the item that is number 2 in the packet that was handed out, which is a preliminary traffic study. And the county engineer did review this, and he found he was acceptable to the connection everywhere, the original plan where we connected 5 ways into the neighborhood and to Billy Mayer. But he's also, as of this afternoon, he was acceptable to only accessing Billy Mayer. Our traffic numbers, we anticipate about 1,000 trips a day, and that's pretty standard. Most households produce 10 trips a day, so 100 houses-ish times 10 is 1,000. We have found, based upon our study, that would produce a 16%, if we only access Billy Mayer, that would produce a 16% increase in Billy Mayer, which is less than pre-COVID highs. And so Billy Mayer has and will and can accommodate that increased traffic if that was the only access point. But in addition to that, we have added a left turn lane. I think that's the high points, Madam Chair, but again, I'm available for any questions.
Okay. We have a few commissioners in queue, so just in case those questions are for you, Commissioner Caswell?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I appreciate the leverage we have in here. I know it's been confusing. I want to say this, is that I was almost at a point, let's defer to get everybody, because I felt like coming in here, we was all on the same page, and then we got all over the place here. When I listened to Ms. Liz and what they're asking for, again, is for the traffic not to come out to Rensselaer because of what she's afraid of, and then to be told it may still do that when she's told it's not. That's concerning. And I do understand, too, from the others that they're saying from Billy Mayer's that it ain't. We know that this development, everybody agree that they are not opposed to development. They feel like the development need to go there. And again, some compromises was made. That's why I felt like really comfortable that we were there. And so I'm hoping, again, that we can adhere to what the appeals asked for, and the appeal it asked for in the sense of these streets. Is it not any chance that we could have gotten, if we delayed it when we went and did the traffic study, how was the traffic study going to tell us what we need to know when it comes to what you're saying is not going to happen until the developments start, as it results to coming out on Rensselaer?
I might ask Mr. Matheny to come to the dais to answer that. And I guess the fundamental part of your question is, how would a more robust traffic study differ from the traffic study that is before you today? Mm-hmm. And I don't know the answer to that question, but I hope I articulated it for our traffic engineer.
Good afternoon. I'm Harvey Matheny with Pickering Firm, 6363 Poplar, Suite 300, Memphis 38119. So with additional, we have done traffic counts. We've done a preliminary study, as Mr. Whitehead mentioned. A more detailed study will, in my opinion, I don't know this until we do a more detailed study, it will probably say that either alternative would be within the bounds of acceptable traffic flow. So it's probably going to say that either could work, whether we funnel everything to Billy Mayer or we open up one other opportunity for exiting to some other direction. So when you get around to asking the question, which is best, which will work better, that can be subjective, certainly, and it depends perhaps on where you live. But we know that the roads in this area do have capacity for additional trips, based on the counts that we've taken already on Billy Mayer and on Rensselaer. So the additional study would go into more in-depth into traffic turning movements during peak hour, during school, peak hour AM and PM. It will give more information about where there might be points that can be improved perhaps. But as far as the connections from the subdivision, my guess is it will show that either would work. And I know that doesn't answer your question explicitly, But unless there's more detailed study, that's probably the best I could do today.
All right, Commissioner Sugarman?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And so I have a few questions as well. Even though this is not my district, there is a need for housing. We're 38,000 short in Memphis and Shelby County. My concern is, number one, how long will it take to do this study? We've already done a traffic study. Then the other thing, my district, District 12, from Riverdale all the way to Forest Hill, Irene, we would love for you to all come and develop, some properties. Because when I talk to developers and they want to come into my district, they're talking about, well, we can only build apartment buildings because, we can't really get, our eye, And so I'm just concerned, number one, that this is going to drive up the cost. And then number two, I would love for you all to look at my district to see if there's an opportunity there to build affordable homes, as opposed to just apartment buildings where I'm mixed is fine as well. But we need some development in my district as well. Thank you. And so please ask the question, how long will it take for y'all to do this additional traffic study?
I would estimate 30 to 40 days.
And Madam Chair, if I may, that 30 to 40 days, Commissioner Sugarman, is well within the memo of conformance process with county engineering.
Point of information, if Madam Chair.
Yes.
If you can just give clarity on what you just said about the memo with the planning.
Josh Whitehead, 275 Jefferson. The moment, so the subdivisions are a two-step process. You submit a preliminary plan, and then you submit a final plat that is pursuant and matches that preliminary plan. The reason we're here before you is because y'all approved a preliminary plan 20 years ago, but there's a caveat that those preliminary plans expire in 2 years. So we're 18 years past the expiration, so we couldn't we couldn't do the phase 2 submittal of final plat because we're way past. So within 2 years, that's the rule, we have to submit a final plat, and I think we're going to do it sooner than later. And we're going to, once we submit the final plat, OPD, DPD now, reviews it to make sure it matches and the conditions match exactly what this body approves. And then they send a memo of conformance to 911, a bunch of agencies, but the most important of those agencies is county engineering. County engineering will then review it, and before they give us the green light to produce civil plans cost maybe $100,000 to produce. So before we go deep into that level of design, county engineering will review the final plat, the one drawing, and then we do grading and drainage, we do erosion control, tree mitigation, all of the heavy-duty and more expensive plans. And that process can take 6 to 12 months. So again, the traffic study will be the least of the problems with that time period.
Commissioner Mills?
Thank you. As far as the traffic flow, to the ladies that are appealing this, I appreciate where you're coming from. My neighborhood, they're building a neighborhood right behind me in my neighborhood, and they're about to open that street, and they're going to cut right in front of my house to get to either I-40, or soon they're going to go to get their brisket and beaver nuggets because they're building Buc-ee's. So I appreciate where you're coming from and with traffic flow. Mr. Whitehead, I have a question for you. With this substitute, the yes vote would be in favor of this, of what you all are doing?
To whatever degree Josh Whitehead, 275 Jefferson, to whatever degree this substitute represents a compromise, this would approve this subdivision with these conditions.
Okay.
That's the way we phrased this resolution. So it was in the positive. So instead of the original resolution, which was just a flat-out rejection, by voting yes, you voted against the subdivision. This substitute resolution is worded in such a way where you are approving a
Yes, to move forward with
to at least a degree of compromise,
okay,
yes.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
All right, seeing no other commissioners, we are going to move forward. This item has already been deferred, so it is not able to be deferred again. So we will need to take a vote on this matter. And again, thank you, Mr. Whitehead. That was going to be the next question, is the resolution as it stands, if you're voting aye, you're voting in favor of the development moving forward with the conditions that have been agreed upon by both parties. Voting no means that you are not voting in favor of this moving forward.
And just to clarify that there's not a prohibition against deferrals, but there are just some rules around deferrals if another deferral is being requested. It appears not.
Let's prepare the screen for a vote. Madam Clerk, please report the vote.
We have aye votes from Commissioners Whaley, Clay Bibbs, Sugarman, Mills, Ford, Wright, Thornton, Morrison, Lowry, and Chairwoman Avant. Commissioner Caswell has voted no. I have 10 ayes and 1 no.
That motion passes. Parliamentarian, please read item number 22.
Item 22 comes from the Budget and Finance Committee, which is chaired by Commissioner Whaley. Item 22 is a resolution to provide for education incentive payments to county officials and full-time employees of Shelby County government who have attained the Certified Public Administrator designation under the University of Tennessee County Technical Assistance Services County Officials Certificate Training Program. This item requires the expenditure of FY 2026 general fund dollars in an amount not to exceed $15,000, sponsored by Commissioner Dr. Edmund Ford Jr. and Commissioner McWright. This item does not meet requirements of the permanent rules. It was substituted, amended, and sent down without recommendation in October 1st, 2025 committee meeting.
I have a motion by Commissioner Ford, a second by Commissioner Sugarman. Could I get a motion to suspend the rules to?
So moved.
I have a motion by Commissioner Ford, a second by Commissioner Sugarman. Can we do that without objection? Okay, the rules has been suspended. This item is before us. Mr. Thornton, is there a presentation? Okay. Commissioner Ford, you're recognized.
All right, very quickly, because I was not in committee. I was at TGFOA with some wonderful people from the state of Tennessee. We'll talk about that when we get to another item. But it was brought to my attention that some changes were made. As one of the sponsors, I'm not against any of those changes that were made. I'll just simply state on the record, if we do revisit the compensation policy before the fiscal year is over, I would ask that we would consider taking the $1,500 for this particular item back to $3,000. In addition, there might be some changes in the state to where the $600 item that's also part of this might go up to $1,000. So if something happens before the fiscal year is over, as far as us looking at the compensation study, I would ask that we entertain both of those as modifications in the compensation policy. But as far as the changes that were done in commission and committee, this sponsor has no objection, and I'm assuming that my other sponsor, he's nodding his head, he has no objection as well. And that'll keep Mr. Thorne from having to say anything unless he wants to.
Madam Clerk, please prepare the screen for a vote. Madam Clerk, please report the vote. Aye.
We have aye votes from Commissioners Whaley, Clay Bibbs, Caswell, Sugarman, Mills, Ford, Wright, Thornton, Morrison, Lowry, and Chairwoman Avant. We have 11 aye votes.
That motion passes. Parliamentarian, please read item number 23.
Item 23 comes from the Budget and Finance Committee, which is chaired by Commissioner Whaley. Item 23 is a resolution approving a contract with Protivity Government Services, Inc. for information technology services, professional services to provide supplemental information technology services staffing, and/or deliver turnkey business application solutions for on or off-site projects in a total amount not to exceed $1,385,280, commencing upon execution through June 30th, 2026, with the option to renew for 2 additional one-year periods in an amount not to exceed $1,385,280. This item requires expenditure of FY 2026 Information Technology Services Internal Service Funds in an amount not to exceed $1,385,280, sponsored by Commissioner Michael Whaley. This item was an add-on in October 1st, 2025 committee meeting.
I have a motion by Commissioner Sugarman, a second by Commissioner Thornton. Commissioner Whaley, can I have a committee report?
Yes, this item comes down with a favorable recommendation.
Madam Clerk, please prepare the screen for a vote. Madam Clerk, please report the vote.
We have aye votes from Commissioners, excuse me. We have aye votes from Commissioners Whaley, Clay Bibbs, Mills, Ford, Wright, Thornton, Lowry, and Chairwoman Avant. We have 8 aye votes.
That motion passes. Parliamentarian, please read item number 24.
Item 24 comes from the Budget and Finance Committee, which is chaired by Commissioner Whaley. Item 24 is a resolution amending the existing fund balance policy to formally incorporate a cash flow management policy. The amendment establishes defined cash flow processes and procedures to ensure fiscal stability, including installment-based disbursements of large non-county grant contracts, enhanced cash flow planning, and measures to maintain and replenish fund balances. The intent is to strengthen financial management practices, align operations with the cyclical nature of property tax collections, and provide greater flexibility while protecting the county's liquidity. Sponsored by Commissioner Michael Whaley, this item was an add-on and sent down without recommendation in October 1st, 2025 committee meeting.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Ford. We have a second by Commissioner Mills. Commissioner Whaley, could I have a committee report?
Yes, this item comes down without recommendation.
Okay. Commissioner Ford, you're in the queue.
Thank you, and I may need a second time in the queue. I passed something out, but I need to state a couple of things first. To the Chair Emeritus, thank you for bringing this, first of all. I did listen to the commentary while I was in Murfreesboro, and I think this was well-needed way in advance. And I believe that you were doing the right thing, and you did not know that a comptroller letter was going to hit right after, a few minutes after this item hit. People, we were warned 4 times. 4 times. The item where the state put this in place passed almost unanimously. Because we come up with excuses sometimes. Well, the state's doing this. It was bipartisan and it passed 91-2. I have, and if anybody who's a taxpayer or a constituent would like a copy, I have the comptroller letters from 2019 all the way to October 1st. I can show you where we got commendations before this new body assembled and before we had new people as administrators. To the Chair Emeritus, I remember when I was the budget chair and you were the budget vice chair, and we had ample fund balance and all of our stuff was in order. The one year that it was late, it was still complete. And then when I looked at the letters, I'm looking at the FY20 letter, the FY21 letter. FY22 is when we were given some warning. And then we were given letters saying that with the information that's given on the website, it was still not done right. So basically, there's a template online saying do it like this, A through G, not H through W. And last year's letter, some people who don't know what they're talking about, journalists and otherwise, wanted to say, why did you and I go submit a letter to the comptroller's office? Well, you know what? He gave us the warning and said, you're absolutely right asking these questions. But he always said in every single one of his letters, if you need some help, we got it on the website and we will be ready to help you out. In private sector, people will either be asked to resign or be fired. But we give so many chances and excuses. But some of the people that want to do that are part of the problem. So Chair Emeritus Whaley, I would like to add some of the things that you graciously put in your resolution due to the fact that there are some things that need to be added. So I'll put myself back in the queue and I will go over that. I hope all my colleagues have a list of those items. So I'm putting myself in the queue officially so I can talk about the things that I passed out to everybody. It's a few other things that I would like to add. May I?
You're recognized.
Thank you. So commissioners, I have a 5 through 10. The 1 through 4 is great. As far as the number 4, to the sponsor, I would like to just add a little bit language saying in the form of a cash flow recovery plan. But in my 3 minutes, I want to go ahead and go over these things, and then I'm going to ask the sponsor if he could accept these items as a friendly amendment. So the first one is talking about the finance department putting a minimum cash flow reserve within the existing fund balance policy that is distinct from contingency or emergency reserves by modifying the reporting of cash flow forecast as part of the fund balance monitoring process in order to identify shortfalls early and to prevent things like what transpired when an item came down trying to cut $17 million out of amendments, which is unconscionable. The next item, the Finance Department to define triggers and criteria for when the governing body should consider short-term borrowing, even though we're not allowed to do it this year, based on cash flow forecast and not exclusively fund balance amounts. My number 7 is, in cases where cash flow shortages occur, the Finance Department utilizing short-term borrowing to cover expenses with the approval of this body. But the borrowing will only be used when the shortfall is temporary and can be addressed within the same fiscal year. The maximum amount borrowed shall not exceed a predetermined percentage of projected annual general fund revenues, and the borrowed amount will be repaid within the next anticipated revenue inflows. I say inflows because that was brought up in a comptroller letter of being missing. 8, 9, and 10, because I had these conversations with the comptroller as well as some of the people in his office. I believe that the last 3 go with what transpired on the 1st of October. The Finance Department classifying all fund balances unaudited in accordance with GAAP into the following categories. I know we do this in the ACFR, but I think we need to now have some type of quarterly update for the purposes of seeing if we need to possibly, through a resolution or ordinance, modify things. And you should already know what the 5 categories are and report to the governing body on a quarterly basis. I'm asking if can we have the Finance Department address to the governing body any and all funds that are anticipated to end the fiscal year with a negative fund balance, which was referenced in the comptroller letters, and or cash deficits with written explanations on a quarterly basis. And then lastly, providing cash and fund balances for all funds using a budget summary schedule to be presented on a quarterly basis. So to the sponsor, you see the 5 through 10, you see what I like to include for 4, so could we put this as a friendly amendment to the sponsor through the chair?
Commissioner Whaley?
All right, yep, I would accept that, so I would second the motion to amend.
But if it was a friendly amendment, then we wouldn't have to necessarily do it that way, will we?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And I'd be glad to give you a copy so you can see exactly what it is, because I know that's going to be your first question. But my final comment, with what has transpired, this body has to be proactive. I agree with the sponsor through policy in order to try to rectify what has transpired. So I'll leave that there. I want to make sure that CFO gets a copy As a matter of fact, you can have my copy if you want to, because I know exactly what's on it, so here you go.
Okay, so I just wanted for the record, because this is it's a more detailed than just a friendly amendment, there are definitely some things that are specific that we are asking to amend. So it's a motion by Commissioner Ford. It was a second by Commissioner Whaley. Can we do that without objection? Okay, so moved. All right, Ms. Chief Tipton?
Thank you. Audrey Tipton, Director of Administration and Finance. Thank you very much, Commissioner Ford, for definitely reviewing the cash flow policy that we presented and adding some more information. I agree with you on some things, but some things I do want to add more information. I know one point that you made about the cash flow, not knowing or seeing that I actually present to this body every quarter the balance in the cash flow. At that time, I am asking you to review it and to act accordingly going forward. So maybe I was not clear whenever I presented my quarterly report that showed the fund balance as well as the cash balance. And I think that this body has always mentioned that the fund balance was going lower. So I'm not going to get into a lot of details about it, but I'm trying to address the items that are on this list. So that is stating that going forward, that's what we'll do. Then we'll continue to show the cash flow each quarter so that the body can see how much is there. And also, as far as the fund balance, that is something that we have continued to inform the body about, and it is impacted primarily by the cash balance. So each time you approve an increase, each time you approve a invoice or a new contract, you're impacting the flow of cash. The one suggestion that I would like to make is that going forward, any resolution that has an amount higher than $500,000, within that resolution, you state when the payments are to go out, because we've made it clear that our cash is very lean the first quarter. Maybe we can put that language in resolutions, that if the resolution is of a certain amount, that the cash will not be expended until a certain date after we've collected more cash in order to pay that. So I'm definitely going to review these items that were presented in detail. Oh, okay, thank you. Okay. Review them in detail. Some I can approve, some I think we probably need to think a little bit more about.
Just for clarity, in our committee meeting, Commissioner Whaley, I'm going to refer back to you. I thought that we had already stated that instead of these reports coming to us quarterly, they should be coming to us monthly, which was item number, I think it's item number 10 listed here, but I think that we did amend and ask. We didn't put it in the form of the resolution, but I think that was something that we requested, with that it was a monthly reporting of the cash balances. Director Tipton.
Thank you, I'm sorry. Audrey Tipton, Director of Administration and Finance. When we receive the final cash receipts report, it is on the 10th of the following month. Okay, so once we close the books, you'll see it monthly, but it's still going to be behind.
And
So
we
just
discussed
under
that.
timing.
We know that it would be some time lag for the date stamp of the 10th, but we did discuss in committee that would be a monthly rather than quarterly. So Commissioner Whaley, Commissioner Ford.
Yeah, I think we can probably just change that in the document, yeah.
Okay. Number 10. And again, that was
Let's
just
do
something.
that. We should do that officially, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if someone can make a motion, and this was just reflective of the kind of Commissioner Ford was listening in, but this was something we did discuss in committee, that it should be a monthly, as we're asking the administration to be able to provide these forecasts more timely. So if there is a motion, there's a motion by Commissioner, do you mind stating the motion, Commissioner Thornton? That a motion to have the finance, on number 10, as in this amended resolution, that the reports will be presented on a monthly basis. Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Thornton.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Whaley. Can we do that without
I
objection?
got one quick question. I'm not against, but I may want to amend. So since 8, 9, and 10 are all quarterly, would it be best to make all of those monthly, or are we just gonna focus on 10?
Well, I think we were talking specifically about those cash flow balances. It's up to you, Commissioner Ford, if you'd like to make that change, but we were definitely talking about this in direct relation to the challenge we were having with cash
Okay.
flow in order.
So to split the baby, I know 8 takes more time, so I would split the baby and say at least let's do 9 and 10 monthly to give, or 10, you just want 10.
Audrey Tipton, Director of Administration and Finance. Number 8 is not normally presented until the end of the year. So to present that monthly, that's
Okay.
not,
How about 9? Can we do 9 since the comptroller specifically stated that the last few years as far as explaining why we have these negative fund balances and not having to wait a whole year? Only reason, I'm just trying to see at least if we can get 9 on a monthly. I'll leave 8 alone, but 10 I agree with. I'm just trying to, so we'll have to make another motion, that's why. Can we do the best to try to make 9 monthly? Since the comptroller stated that multiple times as a.
Director Tipton.
Audrey Tipton, Director of Administration and Finance. The negative fund balance, now, we understand that we collect most of our funds in the middle of the year, like January. So our fund balance is going to be dipping. So the explanation for a negative fund balance is because we have not collected all of the cash at certain points of the year. But we can present it, and we will give an explanation for it.
And if it's unaudited, that's fine. So the only thing I want to do is possibly make quarterly for change quarterly for 9 and 10 to monthly. I'll leave 8 alone. Can we do that as a friendly amendment?
Commissioner Thornton, a friendly amendment to, you could restate the amendment.
Change quarterly for 9 and 10 to monthly.
Okay, can I get a second? Second by Commissioner Caswell, can do that without objection. So the amendment to this resolution is that for items 9 and 10, those reports will be provided on a monthly basis versus quarterly. Okay. Commissioner Whalen?
All right, thank you. Just to clarify a little bit here, the main purpose is the cash flow forecast. That we already get the monthly fund balance, like we see once that's reconciled, like what those numbers are. But what we're really trying to get at with this is the forecast at a more detailed level of where we're going based on current obligations. And we see the big overall chart every year, and we see that dip. But I think it would be helpful on a monthly basis, especially in July, August, September, this first sort of half of the year, to really dig into that forecast, the cash flow forecast. Because that way we look at like the obligations we know we have, salaries, benefits, like we know we have those. And then we have the other external partners, and we can better plan when those disbursements go out. So I think that's probably the most important thing here in the moment is the cash flow forecast, and hopefully with the new system, we can, it'll be a little easier to pull that data and see what the, how the historical revenues look with current obligations. All right, thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Whalen. Commissioner Ford, you're recognized.
Are we still on this item, or have we done it without objection before I speak?
We did without objection.
Okay, my last comment. Commissioner Whaley, again, thank you for bringing this, and if there's any other, I think there's a couple other things that we could bring in the next meeting, and I would love to be a sponsor with you on this, and look, I'd like to be added as a sponsor on this item.
I have a motion by Commissioner Ford, second by Commissioner Thornton. Can we do that without objection? Thank you.
All right, and then my last comment. There's enough blame to go around, whether it's 11th floor, finance, this body. We make the financial decisions, y'all the ones that turn the paperwork in. And then you're directed by somebody from the 11th floor. As such, even though we're not going out for debt next year because we do it every 2 years, for the people that need to know what's exactly going on, because your mayor's not going to tell you in an interview, and the media's not going to give you everything. They didn't want to listen to us. We were the bad folks because they were trying to protect their person, and we know who that is. Who's going to protect the taxpayers? We are now at the mercy of making sure that the next budget is approved by the comptroller. We can't go back and fix this one. He's already stated it was too late. I was there with the people for 3 whole days in Murfreesboro, Mr. Munpower and his associates. This is where we're at. Half of y'all gonna be off this body, and we're gonna have a new mayor. Let's say the same foolishness happens again. That means we won't know until September or October when the new body gets sworn in whether this next budget has been approved by the comptroller's office, which means all those projects, let's say we get another disapproval. You just left the new mayor and the new commission with crap because of things that have happened over the last 5 years. Commissioner Whaley, we did not leave it like this in 2021. We did not. And when people want to point out, well, you shouldn't, no, I did everything right. And some of the people that aren't here did everything right, and people listened. But now you got politics in place where people will do the wrong thing just for their own political gain, and it's disgusting. And you did that on, the taxpayers haven't had to pay for this. Again, CFO might be gone. I think she's going to retire August 31st. I wouldn't blame you. Get out of here. But at the end of the day, these decisions, now we've left the taxpayers and the new body, we don't know what's going to happen. And that's where we're at. And I think my old man had a card. I was not speaking to see if he was going to fill out a card. So that was not intentional. So I have one question for the chair. If we get anything, if you receive any emails that you believe are pertinent to any item that we have on our agenda or might have on our agenda, I would ask you to please share with this body. I don't want to have to get from a third party something that you received that affects some of the things that we have to make decisions on. So I would ask in sincerity this time, if you get anything that affects our decisions on this body regarding things that a CAO may have sent or otherwise, please give us the courtesy as 12 of your colleagues to get that information in a timely manner. Thank you.
Commissioner Ford, is always going to be my endeavor to make sure that this body has all of the information it needs. It does not serve me or anyone on this body well for me to withhold information or transparency or accountability. So noted. Councilman Edmund Ford.
Edmund Ford Sr. I really didn't want to come up here, but let me just say a few things. Address 917 Summer Shade. Like I said, I didn't really want to come up here, but the controller, okay? 11th floor. I'm talking to you also this time. Like my son just said, you may want to retire. Might be a good thing to retire where you won't be in this mess. Okay? Commissioners, 11th floor, one person has been in some of y'all's ears. He gonna kick you under the bus and run over you. This is the time for y'all to say, forget him up there, because he don't mean y'all no good. Look back 5 years. Y'all were doing good. But ever since 11th floor, and y'all know who I'm talking about, and I want him to come to me. Time to kick him under the bus. Y'all know where I'm coming from. Quite a few. I know who he talked to, who he promised stuff to, everything else. Don't worry about that no more. Last time we were here, everybody should have done what you said. You told a story. But do not let the 11th floor and one person ruin all of y'all. Some of y'all can't run again, but you might want to run for something else. So hey, make yourself look good. Everything else where you might can win the next position that you may want. Okay? Other than that, don't let one person ruin you because he don't care about you. Okay? Sometimes you have to put the devil where he's supposed to be. And I'm just letting you all know. Okay? And y'all send a message back upstairs. Because you know what? Y'all got more power than anything. We don't have it across the street. Y'all got all the power. We wish we had the power that y'all have. So don't just let somebody come in and tell y'all something because they don't mean well, okay? We are God-fearing people. Show that. Y'all will be all right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. If you could prepare the screen for a vote. Madam Clerk, could you please report the vote?
We have aye votes from Commissioners Whaley, Clay Bibbs, Caswell, Sugarman, Mills, Ford, Wright, Thornton, Morrison, Lowry, and Chairwoman Avant. We have 11 aye votes.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to call up, we had a general comment card, so I'm going to call that now. Karen Spencer McGee. Karen Spencer McGee. Okay, all right, we'll move to item number 25, parliamentarian. I'm sorry. That item passes. Item 24 passes. Parliamentarian, please read item number 25.
Item 25 comes from the Facilities, Real Property, and Capital Improvements Committee, which is chaired by Commissioner Wright. Item 25 is a resolution approving a 5-year lease agreement between Aspen Developments Group, LLC, and Shelby County Government on behalf of the Shelby County Community Services Agency for 13,456 square feet of office space located at 1188 Minna, Memphis, Tennessee 38104 for the term beginning October 1st, 2025 through September 30th, 2030, with an option to extend the lease on a month-to-month basis for up to an additional 3 months in an amount not to exceed $201,840.03 for FY 2026, with a total contract amount not to exceed $1,401,038.88. This item requires expenditure of FY 2026 Community Services Block Grant Administration in the amount of $17,968.69. Community Services Block Grant, CEAP, in the amount of $57,742.45. Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program Administration in the amount of $46,029.38. And Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program DPS funds in the amount of $80,099.51. Sponsored by Commissioner David C. Bradford Jr. This item was sent down without recommendation in October 1st, 2025 committee meeting.
And a motion? Motion by Commissioner Thornton, second by Commissioner Sugarman. Can I get a committee report, Commissioner Wright?
Yes, Madam Chair, the sheet says this was sent down without recommendation, and I don't recall, so I'm assuming that's correct.
Okay, thank you. All right, is there a presentation? All right, I do have 2 comment cards on this item. Ms. Glenda Hicks. Glenda Hicks. Sure, all right. If you could go forward with the presentation, and then we'll move forward.
Thank you. Esther Sykeswood, Olympic Administrator. I don't have a real presentation. This is just a lease for the CSA to stay in their current space, and they use grant funds. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Hicks, would you like to come forward now?
Good afternoon. Glenda Hicks, co-founder 21st Century Memphis or Bust, 608 Gillies Road. Just in reviewing this and being a community advocate and of course a citizen of Shelby County, I had some questions and which I think it's my right to ask. So I was just wondering, especially with all that's going on with dispensing of funds and the lack of funds and funding issues within this board, how many employees does this space provide operations for? And who is actually responsible for administering or dispensing these funds to the various areas that are broken down here? Can you all answer those questions, please?
So I'll allow if there's a commissioner that wants to get in queue in order for us to address those questions. Okay. Ms. Bromley, are you able to answer those?
Good evening, Sandy Bromley, Director of Division of Community Services. Community Services Agency is one of the agencies under our division. We are a community action, that is a community action agency. It is a federally mandated agency, so money comes from the federal government through the state to our agency, CSA. We currently have 45 staff working at that location.
4 to 5.
45.
45.
Yes, ma'am.
And who's responsible for?
Ms. Hicks, if you could, well, you still have some time. If you could just repeat your question in the microphone.
My other question, because I'm very much so aware of the community service agency and the supposed responsibility that they have to assist low incomes, especially in terms of energy efficiency and assistance in payment of their utility bills. So who is actually responsible for determining dispensing of those funds?
Sandy Bromley, Division of Community Services. Certainly would love to have you sit down with Dana Brooks, who's the administrator. Dana Brooks is the administrator of the Community Services Agency. My deputy director is Cherry Whitehead Thompson. That's her supervisor. And again, I'm Sandy Bromley. So happy to have all three of us sit down with you, talk more about the regulations, et cetera. We are very much subject to the feds. Really, it's the federal regulations. They send the money to the state puts some additional regulations on there and sends it out to us. And we unfortunately are sort of at their mercy as far as compliance.
I appreciate that because I have certainly heard how difficult it is to secure funds from CSA. So that's my reason for the inquiry. So I would love to meet with you.
Understood.
Thank you.
You could prepare, Madam Clerk, prepare the screen for a vote. Madam Clerk, if you could report the vote.
We have aye votes from Commissioners Whaley, Clay Bibbs, Caswell, Sugarman, Mills, Wright, Thornton, Morrison, and Chairwoman Avant. We have 9 aye votes.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Lowry wants to be reflected as an aye.
Correction. Have aye votes from Commissioners Whaley, Clay Bibbs, Caswell, Sugarman, Mills, Wright, Thornton, Morrison, Lowry, and Chairwoman Avant. We have 10 aye votes.
Okay, that motion passes. Parliamentarian, please read item number 26.
Item 26 comes from the Facilities, Real Property, and Capital Improvements. Oh,
I'm sorry, before you read item 26, Ms. Winnie Hardaway? Okay. Continuing, item 26.
Item 26 comes from the Facilities, Real Property, and Capital Improvements Committee, which is chaired by Commissioner Wright. Item 26 is a resolution approving a 3-year lease agreement between Raleigh Oaks Management Company and Shelby County Government on behalf of the Shelby County Mayor's Office of Innovation and Strategic Communications Shelby Cares Program for 4,123.64 square feet of office space located at 3620 Austin P. Highway, Suite 2, Memphis, Tennessee 38128, for the term beginning July 1, 2025 through June 30, 2028, with equal monthly rent installments of $3,333.87, beginning August 1st, 2025, for a total of $116,685.45, with an option to extend the lease on a month-to-month basis after expiration for an additional 3 months. The lease agreement also includes leaseor improvements in the amount up to $104,000 and not to exceed the actual cost to the leaseor. This item requires the expenditure of FY 2026 general funds in the amount of $140,672.57, sponsored by Commissioner David C. Bradford Jr. and Commissioner Charlie Caswell Jr. This item was substituted in October 1st, 2025 committee meeting.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Sugarman, a second by Commissioner Thornton. Can I get a committee report, Commissioner Wright?
Yes, this was substituted in committee and comes down with a favorable recommendation.
Okay, thank you. We have a comment card, Ms. Karen Spencer McGee. I'm going to send the first comment card back by the deputy sheriff because I think Ms. McGee may have been mistaken that we somehow overlooked her, but there was not an item number on your first card. So that's why we called you for general comment. But would you like to speak to item number 26?
No, ma'am, I was trying to speak on just a general comment.
Okay, so we did call you up for a general comment.
Yes, I was coming down the aisle and I said here and you just kept going.
Okay, I didn't see you. My apologies.
You all right? You good?
Okay, would you like to go ahead and speak at this time?
Yes, please. Thank
Okay.
you. Because I left my notes on this card.
Okay.
My name is Karen Spencer McGee, or Mama Peaches, Black Lives Matter Memphis. Because of obvious reasons, I don't give my address out. After talking to Brother Ford, I have a video, and I wanted you all to hear it, but it's really, really graphic. And if I play it, you're going to have to beep out everything. So they are targeting activists. And my daughter, they put a camera on her house, and they shot up my truck. I was put on a BOLO list, and the sheriff was following me around. And I asked Bonner to give me the paperwork so I could take it to my lawyers in D.C. because it's illegal for you to target activists. That's what the consent decree was about when my grandfather was here and Dr. King and them got surveyed. Now, it's a sad state of affairs that I know the law and I know politics, and I've been home 20 years doing the work. And I can't go to Floyd Bonner and get the paperwork. See, he has to execute that. Whenever you're put on anything, like Pamela Moses, when I was with her, that's how I got put on the BOLO list. And I've got the tape where one of the guards said I was guilty by association. I just wanted the paperwork. So now they started it again. Those actors, Brittany, that they're picking up, Frank Gotti and them and stuff like that, that's not me. They ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm legit. So the sheriff's department, I tagged you, Commissioner Sugarman, about juvenile court. I have 7 daughters, 1 son. The dumbest thing I got came out with a 4.2. I don't play about education. So why are you juvenile court? The Leilani, the little baby that you was helping me with when I was homeless, yeah, they took her out of my daughter's custody. Yeah. And don't nobody want to talk to me down there. Now, you know I was shut down. I'll kill for mine. That's my blood. I'm not no slave. I know what they doing. Okay? and Steve Morrow and C.J. Davis. They playing games. I wish I had $100 bill for everybody that saw that woman say, Steve, I don't know what the hell he talking about. Yeah, on that interview. It's been 5 years. She don't know what he talking about. So that lady in her interview got people calling my phone. So I just came down here to let you all know that I had a call with Mark White today, and I'm going to Nashville. And tell the mayor, since he don't want to talk to me, I know where all the dead bodies at.
Thank
And
you,
I
Ms.
got
Spencer McGee.
to bury them for me.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank
Spencer McGee.
Oh, and I'm sorry. My condolences go to you. I was at the funeral, and I didn't know. So me and you need to have a talk, okay? I apologize, okay? Because, you know, I didn't come home to make friends or play. Thank you.
Thank you. Parliamentarian, you've read number 26. Commissioner Thornton, you are recognized in the queue.
Thank you, Chair. I'm not sure, Administrator Sykes-Woods, if you know, who's over the Office of Innovation that's spearheading the Shelby Cares program?
She's here.
Is it, okay. Can you provide your email address? I just want to make sure that some of my previous requests about the vision of how we're executing the plan around the Shelby Cares program, that I get that answered. I'm not going to support this today, and it's really just a stance that I'm going to take moving forward until we get the vision. I'm aware that this particular program would be of use across the county, and I don't think that it's the best methodology for us to just kind of unveil the program without it being clear to us systemically how we're doing it. So I've asked this now over a year for this information. So I'm just convinced that this particular program might be questionable in how we're choosing our locations, and truthfully just is not fair to the elders across Shelby County that would love to have access to a Shelby Care site, but won't be told how their particular zip codes fare against others. So if you could give us your email address, an update on where we are with creating the vision, and what prioritizes Raleigh over other zip codes, that would be helpful.
Blair Benavides, Office of Innovation and Strategic Communications. Thank you so much for that question. Commissioner Thornton, my email address is my first name, Blair, BLAIRE, .Benavides, B as in boy, E, N as in Nancy, A, V as in Victor, I, D as in dog, E, S as in Sam, at shelbycountytn.gov. I have actually provided every commissioner on this body with an email and a text message and a phone call regarding these 4 items that I've bringing before this body for Shelby Cares expansion to Raleigh, as well as continuation of Shelby Cares in Binghamton and in South Memphis. Part of the email communication that I provided included sustainability options and a vision for the future. So I'm happy to send that to you again, if you would like, Commissioner Thornton. We do have some vision ideas. We are doing this in collaboration with UT. And with UT, we have identified the hotspots in Shelby County for possible areas of expansion. Now, we do not expect that Shelby County government would be the sole funder for the various health hubs that we are going to hopefully be developing again together with UT. But Raleigh is one of those hotspots, and there are several within South Memphis as well. And again, I'd be happy to share that presentation with you again.
Commissioner Thornton, are you getting back? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Am I recognized? Thank you, Chair. So thank you. It's a request for sustainability options. It's a request to know where the needs are. I'm not looking for a sustainable a sustainability assessment, I'm looking to see that the issue that Shelby Cares is tracking is focused on addressing. Where does it show up in the county? And where is the most proximate Shelby Cares that we are actually creating a plan? So what I'm really looking for is to see that if you're saying that in Binghamton, in Raleigh, that there is a need, or any other locations, I see that there's a Westwood location as well. So whatever justified that we should put some type of resource there, where do you see that in the county? What would the dollar amount be to be able to address all the other places in the county where it is also an issue? And you continue to say South Memphis, but there are other parts in this district that I'm sure will show up on the data case, like Oak Haven, along the Getwell corridor. I'm just thinking about places within District 10 where I would like to have there be an assessment of if there's any similar need within these particular communities for a program like Shelby Cares. So not a one-to-one option. What is the actual ticket for us to be able to give a comparable offer to parts of the district where there are like needs, where we've already invested? And so if we don't have those type of figures, then we can't drive, as particularly, budget season will be here before we know it. I mean, if it's gonna cost $1 million to be able to immediately level the playing field, we need to know that figure, not necessarily the cost to come up with just a next location, and then another part of the county is disenfranchised. So that's more of the data that I'm looking to receive, so that we can figure out the costs associated with just meeting the need.
So Blair Benavides, Office of Innovation and Strategic Communications. So I would also offer this. We have, this is a relatively new endeavor. And so we started this again, well, actually UT started this before Shelby County government got involved. And it's been about 3 years. And so, it's a pilot program. It has been a pilot program, and it's been really important to evaluate the data to make sure that it's worth putting taxpayer funds into. We have now seen the data, and so we are now starting to outline what that plan might look like. Again, the philanthropy that is coming from the community is in combination with what is coming from Shelby County government, so it would not be appropriate for me to quote a dollar sum on what it would take to put Shelby Cares across the county in various areas, again, because we're doing it in collaboration with UT and other partners. What I can tell you, which is also in the presentation that I shared with you, is that it takes about $400,000 per year to stand up a single health hub. So one location health hub is about $400,000 per year. So if you were to multiply that by the number of areas that potentially needed a health hub, I think we could come up with something that could potentially be a reasonable figure. Again, it depends also who our partners are going to be out in the community, and who is going to be supporting that initiative throughout the various areas in the community.
I'm out of time, but I would love to see you guys come and present in committee so we can continue the discussion. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, please prepare the screen for a vote. Madam Clerk, please report the vote.
We have aye votes from Commissioners Whaley, Clay Bibbs, Caswell, Sugarman, Ford, Wright, Morrison, Lowry, and Chairwoman Avant. Commissioner Thornton has abstained. I have 9 ayes and 1 abstain.
That motion passes. We now get to the part of our agenda where there are announcements and statements. Commissioners, if there's any commissioners, Commissioner Caswell?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, next Tuesday, the 14th, we'll have our stakeholder meeting, 3034 Old Austin P Highway. I know our very own Chairwoman Avant will be our guest speaker. So again, come out and be with us at 11:45, yes, to 1 p.m. at 3034 Old Austin P Highway. Thank you.
Commissioner Lowry?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to say thank you to Chair and the staff and for the well wishes and condolences over this period of time. I sincerely appreciate it.
Absolutely. Hearts are with you. Commissioner Ford?
I got 2 announcements and I got 1 question because I think those that have some things down the pipeline need to prepare accordingly. So the first thing, the Whitehaven STEM Lab, the grand opening will be at noon this Wednesday at Whitehaven High School. And I believe there's an open house that will be on tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. And there's one other thing, and since the finance director is here, I need the CFO real quick. There was something that was not clarified, and without having to bring something back up because there was an untruth that came up, I do know that Commissioner Bradford withdrew that item that dealt with the 17 and change and whatnot. I know one of my items already passed, but I'm looking at the people that were also in that mix. I know even though it was withdrawn, I have a concern that a memo that was sent out by the CAO, and that was the one that I was referencing, states that there will be freezes on hiring except public safety, but also on purchasing. And I know some of the items that are in the 17 may deal with purchasing, and they're talking about freezing from November to January the 15th. So if you're in that 17, I don't know how it will affect you as far as the purchasing, but I would strongly recommend, as somebody who has served constituents and seen everything for the last 18 years, to get your item on the agenda in case this memo is a second bite of the apple to hold off on the $17 million worth of items that came up. So that memo came on the 17th. Commissioners did not receive it from this office until a couple of weeks after. I have the timestamps and the proof, so it's unfortunate. And the CFO is already left out, so if she sees some items come up that I guess may not necessarily get the approval, if what I'm saying is correct, we're going to find out. So we're going to test one of them with one of the things I need to send you, Ms. White. But I'm just simply saying for the record, if you got one of those things that it's on the 17 million, you might want to put your item on the agenda for October in case that memo that was received by our chair but not given by us until later comes into full effect. Thank you.
Commissioner Thornton?
Thank you, Chair. Just want to let everyone know, October 14th through the 18th, the second annual Hoop to Be Heard tournament will be hosted. It's a basketball tournament being planned and run by the Young Adults of District 10. Super excited to see what they have done. We're increasing the cash prize this year, so it should be even more competitive play from last year. Last year we had over 500 participants. It's a 5-day experience, starting off in Pine Hill on October 14th and ending in Orange Mound at the Community Center on October 18th. So we'd love to see y'all come out and see some good ball play in District 10. Thank you.
Commissioner Sugarman?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And so I have 3 shorter announcements. The Shelby County Commission, in partnership with the Alliance for Housing Progress, Freddie Mac's Developer Academy, and the City of Memphis, is proud to announce the launch of the Emerging Developer Academy, a groundbreaking initiative designed to cultivate local, community-rooted developers who will expand affordable housing and strengthen neighborhood economics across Shelby County. Number 2, Rashida Jones and I will also represent Shelby County at the NACO Large Urban County Caucus Symposium in Milwaukee, October 8th through the 10th, serving as panelists for county-led solutions on housing supply and affordability. And the last thing I want to say and mention, rather, is that I will miss the Shelby County Commission meeting on Monday, October 27th. This will be my first meeting that I have missed since I've been a commissioner. I'll be traveling abroad to represent Shelby County as part of a U.S. delegation participating in the U.S.-China Sister City Summit and Yaxie, Mississippi Regional Dialogue. The delegation includes Mayor Kim Norton from Rochester, Mayor Deborah Finion from Champaign, Illinois, Mayor Shondell Washington from Spivey, Wisconsin, Senator Hillman Frazier, Mississippi State Senate District 27, and Mayor Dan Gibson from Natchez, Mississippi. We will visit areas such as Shanghai, Hangzhou, Wuhan from October 23rd, 29th. And so again, this will be my first Shelby County Commission meeting that I will miss, but I'll be back. Thank you.
Thank you. And I do have one announcement for the Moving Memphis Forward panel that will be taking place at Koinonia Christian Center on Thursday, October 9th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. I'll be serving on that panel with other representatives, including Councilwoman Rhonda Logan, State Senator London Lamar, School Board Member Sable Ote, City Councilwoman Yolanda Cooper Sutton, State Rep Antonio Parkinson, as well as Mayor Paul Young. So all are invited to attend, as there are updates going about in each of these communities to share about the Memphis and Shelby County Task Force. Seeing no other lights, this meeting is adjourned until Monday, October 27th at 3 p.m.